Hello and welcome inside a sunny, picturesque Ray Fisher Stadium here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. You're listening to Michigan Men's Baseball on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor. I'm Jeremy Parks alongside Austin Falco. Today, we bring you an in-state rivalry matchup, the number 13 Michigan Wolverines taking on the Michigan State Spartans. Michigan is coming into this one on a hot streak after completing a 3-game sweep the previous weekend over the ranked Oklahoma Sooners, Michigan's first ranked win of the season. The Wolverines are feeling pretty good about themselves coming into this one, but a Big Ten matchup is looming against a strong Michigan State Spartans team. Austin, what are you looking for out of the Wolverines in this one to keep this hot streak alive?
We've seen the Wolverines are able to win in a variety of ways. They demonstrated over the weekend against Oklahoma, winning once by just knocking the cover off the ball, also winning with pitching. One big thing to watch today is Michael Hendrickson on the mound for the Wolverines. Normally would have started that Sunday game against Oklahoma. Instead, starting here against Michigan State today. Coming off a rough outing last weekend against Illinois, he only went 2 1/3, gave up 6 runs. Going to look to rebound from the mat is the Wolverine left-hander, and he'll have to do it against the Michigan State Spartans, who are also coming off a nice series win against Ohio State last weekend.
We'll give you the lineup for the Michigan State Spartans, who will bat here in the top of the first. Leading off and playing left field will be Bryce Kelly. Batting second, the right fielder, Dan Shimoleski. Batting third, the second baseman, Dan Durkin. Batting fourth, the designated hitter, Chad Ross Kelly. Batting fifth, the catcher, Matt Byers. Batting sixth, the third baseman, Marty Bikina. Batting seventh, the shortstop, Royce Ando. Batting eighth, the first baseman, Zach McGuire. And batting ninth, the center fielder, Robbie Jones. On the bump for the Wolverines today is the lefty, Michael Hendrickson. This will be his 9th start of the season for the Wolverines. 4.25 ERA, 3-1 in the win-loss column. Opponents hitting .248 against him. We are just about to get underway. The first pitch of the game, a called strike over the heart of the plate. First pitch, 6 p.m. approximately. Your game time temperature right around 62 degrees. A light breeze blowing from left to right field. The 0-1 pitch is bunted. That one's going to be bounced over to Hendrickson. He makes the play. Quick turn and a throw, not in time. The speed of Bryce Kelly too quick as he gets down that first base line on a high chop bunt, and Hendrickson unable to make the play. Michigan State with a runner on to start the game.
I'm not sure if there's some miscommunication there by Hendrickson or Wenson, but Hendrickson waited an extra bounce, which you can't afford to do off this Ray Fisher Stadium turf. Waited for that extra bounce. By the time he had it, he had no chance at throwing out the leadoff runner, Kelly.
That'll bring Dan Shimoleski to the plate, hitting .294 on the season with a runner on first. First pitch fouled off down the first base side.
Yeah, so not exactly the start Michael Hendrickson was looking for. Going to have to work out of the stretch here to start off. And after that rough outing last weekend, definitely not what he wants to see for his confidence level.
The 0-1 pitch to Shimoleski. Hendrickson looks. Quick throw over to first, not in time. Again, for those of you tuning in on 88.3 WCBN FM in Southeast Michigan, Ann Arbor, across the lower right corner of the mitten, welcome inside Ray Fisher Stadium for number 13 Michigan and the Michigan State Spartans. I'm Jeremy Parks alongside Austin Falco. The 0-1 pitch up and away for a ball. Count is now 1-1 on the right fielder, Shimoleski. Brings a little bit of power to the plate. 3 long balls on the season, 17 RBIs, trying to put the Spartans on the board early here. They have a runner on first courtesy of a leadoff bunt. None out. That one is going to be lined on a rope into center field, and a diving play almost made by the center fielder, Johnny Slater. It's going to get by him all the way to the wall. Rounding third and coming home is Kelly. He is going to bring himself home. Stopping at third is Shimoleski as he is standing up at third base, and that is just a misplay in center fielder from Johnny Slater.
2 plays in, 2 misplays by the Wolverine defense. Slater there came running in. The first, I thought he was going to catch that easily on a line. That didn't seem like it was going to drop in front of him, and he decided to slide, and that indecision cost him. It just bounced right over his head all the way to the wall. That's something you can't have happen. As an outfielder, you have to commit one way or the other, and he just failed to do so.
A little bit of hesitation, a misjudgment, and the Spartans are now up in the top of the first inning, 1-0. They also have a runner on third, I should say, and none out. That'll bring up Dan Durkin, the second baseman. First pitch is outside for ball one. A picturesque afternoon here in Ann Arbor. The last day of classes for students here. A lot of students out here at Ray Fisher tonight. The 1-0 swung on and missed. Pulled the string on that one, and the floor fell out from underneath it. Count now even at 1-1.
Yeah, important for Hendrickson here. The first lefty he's going to face today. When you got left-handed pitch, you got to take advantage of those lefty matchups you get.
1-1. That one misses off the plate. Outside. Good block made behind the plate from your catcher today for the Wolverines, Harrison Wenson. Counts now 2-1 on Dan Durkin. Durkin is a .289 hitter on the season for the Spartans. 2-1. That one misses high, eye level. And just like that, a 3-1 count now. Shimoleski is still on third with none out here in the inning.
Got to be careful with this next pitch. Durkin, 6 home runs on the season. He's up 3-1 in the count. Going to be looking to drive something deep to the outfield with the runner on third. So you have to be careful where you locate this with Hendrickson. At the same time, you have to be careful not to miss with this pitch. Put another runner on. Because if you continue to put runners on, it's obviously not a good sign for staying in the game for any length of time.
Conference on the bump between Wenson and Hendrickson is broken up by your home plate umpire today, Michael Schultz. Joined over at first base by Nathan Thompson, your third base umpire, James Mullick. The 3-1 pitch. That one catches the black on the outside part of the plate. Count now runs full, 3-2.
Perfectly executed there. Got to keep that one away from the left-handed hitter, Durkin, away from his power. See what he goes here on the full count pitch.
Payoff pitch. Comes inside, and it's going to bounce off of Durkin. Quick call from the home plate umpire. They were discussing really quickly if that might have come in and hit the end of the bat, but they do send Durkin down to first base. And for Hendrickson, working his way out of a 3-1 count back to full. Not what you want to see here, and some quick trouble continuing here in the top of the first inning.
It looked to me like Durkin leaned into that one, visibly leaned over the plate from our view up here. I thought home plate umpire Michael Schultz, that was the call he was making at first. He was very animated there, more than your usual hit by pitch, go to first base.
Perhaps a little bit of hesitation behind the plate as well. It was hesitation in center field from Johnny Slater that led to the first run of the game for the Spartans. That'll bring up Chad Ross Kelly, the designated hitter. The first pitch loops in their breaking ball for a called strike. Ross Kelly, a junior, hitting .302 on the season. Despite hitting in the cleanup position, only 1 home run and 10 RBIs on the year. Runners on first and third and none out. The 0-1 swung on and lined right over to third base, and a nice play made by Drew Lugbauer. They don't call it the hot corner for nothing, Austin. That one came in on a rope, and a good grab for the first out of the inning.
Lugbauer really didn't have to move over there, but good reaction time nonetheless to snag that one. Another hard hit ball by the Spartans, though. Not a good sign here against Hendrickson. I believe that was against his fastball, and last weekend against Illinois had some troubles with that fastball. That fastball was getting hit hard. He was at his best, and he was using those off-speed pitches effectively, locating them well. And if he's going to have success today, he's got to keep up with that.
That'll bring up the catcher, Matt Byers. First pitch to Byers, misses outside and away for ball 1. Still runners on first and third, 1 out. Spartans already have a run here in the top of the first. The 1-0 pitch, that one is swung on a rope as well over to the shortstop. Quick play made, and he will be out at first base. What a grab from Michael Berdar on the line shot over to short, 6 over to 3, and able to tag up. Bivens gets the runner at first. Durkin took too big of a lead, and then the slide back into first base, not in time. An unconventional double play will end the inning. And a bead of sweat wiped off the brow of Michael Hendrickson after giving up 1 run, putting runners at the corners with none out. He will get out of the inning with no more damage done. We head to the bottom of the first. You're listening to Michigan Baseball on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor, the Michigan Student Radio Network.
That was a nice snag there by Berdar on that last play, but more impressive was the arm strength. He reared back and fired that one over to first. As soon as he caught it, you kind of assumed he was able to throw all the way across the diamond to retire the runner on first base, Durkin. But Berdar showed last weekend, he showed throughout the season, one of the best defensive middle infields the Wolverines have had. recent memory at the very least. Just extremely great job there by Berdar to get Henderson out of the inning on what was another hard hit ball.
Great heads-up play. We'll get to the Michigan lineup now here as we head into the bottom of the first. Leading off, playing second base, Akeo Thomas. Batting second, the center fielder, Johnny Slater. Batting third, the shortstop, Michael Berdar. Batting fourth, the third baseman, Drew Lugbauer. Batting fifth, the left fielder, Miles Lewis. Batting sixth at first base, Jake Bivens. Batting seventh, today's designated hitter, Nick Poirier. Batting eighth, the right fielder, Jonathan Engelman. And batting ninth, the catcher, Harrison Wenson. On the mound for the Spartans this afternoon is Mike Makma, the right-hander. This is fourth start of the season, his eighth appearance overall for the green and white. Comes into this one with a 2.77 ERA. Opponents are hitting .259 against him. Just 13 innings of work so far this season.
Yeah, important for the Wolverines here. We saw it last weekend against Oklahoma. The theme of that series seemed to be early runs. And specifically in that second game of the series, the Friday game against Oklahoma, Michigan went down 3 runs in the first inning, then scored 4, immediately swung the momentum back in their favor, and they wouldn't relinquish it the rest of the game. If they can do that again here, that will go a long way towards securing that victory.
The speedy Akeo Thomas steps to the plate to lead it off here in the bottom of the first for the Wolverines. First pitch to Thomas. That one tailing towards the outside part of the zone. Catches the black for a called strike 0-1. Good pitch by Makma to open up here.
Yeah, it's always good to get ahead on Akeo Thomas when he controls the count and can get on base. Done a great job so far this year. .471 on base percentage. It's dangerous for the opposing defense. The 0-1
pop foul. Working his way over at first base is McGuire. That ball will get out of play by about 5 feet to the right and down the first base line. Count now 0-2 on Thomas, who is hitting .492 as a leadoff hitter this season for the Wolverines. Incredible production at the top of the order, and it just goes to the same tune that this Wolverines team has had all season of offensive production top to bottom. The 0-2 pitch to Thomas. That one swung on and roped over towards left field. If it's fair, it's good. That one is down the line, headed towards the 312 sign and left. Thomas is rounding first. He's going to cruise into second with a stand-up double to lead it off here. And boy, is he psyched over at second base. A great start for the Wolverines. And Thomas might have even thought about rounding second there with the speed he's got, but a shot down the third base line stays fair. Giving chase was Kelly, and he was able to get it into the cutoff to hold Thomas to 2. But Michigan, with their leadoff man on second, trying to make up this 1-0 deficit as Johnny Slater steps to the plate now.
And Akeo Thomas, I don't know what more you could say. He's getting on base almost half the time he leads off ball games.
That may very well put him at 500. We'll check next time around. First pitch to Johnny Slater. That one comes inside as Slater pulls his arms up and away for ball 1. Slater, a .310 hitter. The Wolverines senior center fielder made the mistake in the top of the first inning that allowed Michigan State to score their first run of the game, perhaps looking for a little shot at redemption here. There's a good gap towards that right side of second base. The 1-0 pitch. Attempted bunt. Got a little bit underneath that one as it's fouled back into the netting. Count 1-1 on Slater.
As someone who's not normally a fan of bunting, I do like the bunt in that situation. Slater's got the speed to beat it out if he puts it down in a good spot. If he puts it over towards third, Akeo Thomas is cruising in there. Put himself on third base, only 1 out. Not a bad decision there.
The 1-1, that one is swung on in between first and second. That one will get all the way to the wall in right field. Rounding third and headed for home is Thomas. He will get in safely. And sliding into second is Johnny Slater. Back-to-back doubles to open up the bottom of the first for the Wolverines, and they level this game back at 1 apiece like it was nothing.
Making it look like you said, making it look easy out there. Akeo Thomas deposits one in the left field corner. Johnny Slater deposits one near that right field corner. It just absolutely fantastic. But that's what we've come to expect out of this Wolverine lineup. They're able to put up runs at such an amazing pace, able to get on base at such an amazing pace. You look at the lineup, the top 4 hitters all hitting over 300 on the season. And that doesn't even touch on the extra base power that we've already seen displayed so far in the very first inning of the game, 2 batters in.
That'll bring up Michael Berdar, the 3-hitter playing shortstop for the Wolverines today. Slater now stands on second with none out. A 1-1 game in the bottom of the first. The first pitch from Makma to Berdar. That one catches the lower right corner of the zone. Count 0-1. Berdar is hitting .320 on the season, 3 home runs and 25 RBIs with the most dangerous man in the lineup, Slugbauer, in the on-deck circle. The 0-1. That one misses high, perhaps a bit outside as well, 1-1.
Not sure if Makma was trying to get him to chase there, but you're not going to get many chases out of Michael Berdar.
Home plate umpire Michael Schultz going down to third base, James Mullick, asking him to have the Wolverines in the dugout step back into the dugout. They were on the field. The 1-1 fouled back down the first base side, out into the parking lot. The Wolverines are eager to all get onto the field, but perhaps a little bit too much there as they're on the very top step.
Yeah, all the way down the dugout. Everybody on that top step, they're all into the game. Same we said about the Michigan State dugout as well. So we already had a lot of action here in the first.
1-2 pitch from Makma to Berdar. That one misses low. It's going to get away from the catcher and all the way to the backstop as Slater walks over to third base. It got past the catcher, Matt Byers. And a bad pitch from Makma, unable to block it. And the Wolverines now with a runner on third and none out. Already up with 1 run in the inning. 1-1 game overall.
Not a bad decision there by Makma to go to that pitch. Not a bad pitch call to most hitters. When you're talking about Michael Berdar, only 12 strikeouts on the season and almost 150 at-bats. He's not going to chase pitches. If you want to strike him out, you have to beat him with your stuff. And they tried to get him to chase in the dirt there. It did not work out. In fact, had a nice negative result for him.
2-2 pitch. That one misses outside, this time blocked by Byers. Counts now full 3-2 on Berdar. Makma, we knew he was going to bring a steady diet of fastballs. He's tried to work in a little bit more off speed, but the control is just not there so far. Payoff pitch. That one is swung on and popped over in towards right field. Ranging over to make the play is Shimoleski. He makes the grab, tagging up and heading for home is Slater. The throw is offline. Slater does not need a slide to get in, and the Wolverines take the lead 2-1 on the sac fly to right field from Michael Berdar.
Just like clockwork. Get him on, get him over, get him in. Wolverines proving so far early the bats have not gone silent after that weekend series against Oklahoma. We saw them kind of go silent after blowing up against Illinois. They went silent against Eastern Michigan. They scored 2 runs. Were able to come out with the victory, but so far it seems like today out to prove they're not going to go silent in another midweek game.
Well, if you're Makma, you're perhaps a little bit relieved that the bases are now empty with Drew Lugbauer stepping to the plate. They call him Slugbauer, 11 home runs on the season, .304 batting average. First pitch comes inside for ball 1.
And one of the longest home runs I've ever seen hit here at Alumni Field last weekend. Hit off the mesh above the batter's eye in center field. He absolutely destroyed a ball.
395 to straightaway center field, the 1-0 pitch. And he took one of those cuts to send it over the wall. That one missed as the ball slid underneath the bat, 1-1.
Nice breaking pitch there by Makma. It was almost like he knew Lugbauer was trying for one of those big swings.
He was sitting fastball, didn't get it. And now the 1-1 pitch from Makma. Coming inside again. Lugbauer does not offer, 2-1 the count. Michigan State trying to get out of the bottom of the first here. Have already given up 2 runs. It's a 2-1 game. The 2-1 pitch. That one is swung on, grounded back up towards center. Play is going to be made by the second baseman, Durkin. Throw over to first was in the dirt, but a good gather by the first baseman, McGuire. And they will get Lugbauer in time for the second out of the inning.
And the shift works to perfection. That was actually the shortstop, Ando, moving over. He was basically positioned right behind second base. And Lugbauer hit it directly to him. So nice scouting there, nice execution by the Michigan State defense.
That'll bring up the left fielder, Miles Lewis, one of many a sophomore in this Wolverines lineup, the future of this maize and blue program. He's already hitting .293 this year. He's appeared in 36 games, all 36 games for the Wolverines. Continues to produce. First pitch, that one is a shot down the first base line, bounces off the chalk of the foul line. He's hustling it all the way around second. He's going for 3. Miles Lewis is going to come into third with a slide. The throw is in time. A close play at third base What a throw from right field by Shimoleski. Got it in just in time for a sliding Miles Lewis to get caught. That was a close play. I'm not sure he made it in time, but the third base umpire, James Mullick, was standing right on top of it, and perhaps Lewis got a little bit greedy, and that will end the inning. But boy, did Lewis put a charge into that one. We head to the top of the second. The Michigan Wolverines lead the Michigan State Spartans 2-1. You're listening to Michigan Baseball on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor and the Michigan Student Radio Network. Want to take a quick moment to give a thanks to our producer in the studio, Dalton Pataki. You are hearing Michigan baseball coverage in lieu of the daily sports report here on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon in Ann Arbor. We appreciate Dalton sitting in studio. After we disappear at 6:30 on 88.3, feel free to join us online, WCBNsports.org, or join us on YouTube at WCBN Sports. As always, we also encourage you to interact with us on Twitter at WCBN Sports. Let us know what you think of the broadcast. Feel free to pass along any comments or questions. I'm more than happy to always interact with our listeners. Could not ask for a better night on the last day of classes here in Ann Arbor. Nothing we'd rather be doing than enjoying a good night of baseball.
Oh, definitely. We've had some great luck, I guess, with the way the Michigan weather works over the past really 2 weeks, aside from maybe that Eastern Michigan game. Just absolutely phenomenal weather out here at Ray Fisher Stadium, and the crowds have come out to support what is a great Wolverine team so far this year.
Softball is also playing across the yard against the Spartans. We'll bring you score updates from their game at Alumni Field throughout the broadcast as well. Leading off the inning for the Spartans will be the third baseman, Marty Bikina, and then it'll be the shortstop, Royce Ando, and the first baseman, Zach McGuire, due up here in the top of the second. The first pitch to Bikina misses away for ball one. And Hendrickson didn't have the best of innings to start here in the top of the first. What are you looking for coming back here in the top of the second?
He's going to need to do one of two things. He's either going to need to rely on his breaking pitches more, his off speed. That's what's proved to be effective in his last start so far early on here, or he's going to need to locate that fastball and get that to be effective.
2-0 pitch is popped up foul. Looking to make a play is Wenson right at the backstop. Good track, and he makes the catch for the first out of the inning. Bikina got underneath that one, and it stayed flying just long enough for him to make the track right at the netting.
And I think that one might have been ticketed for the seats here, but the wind blowing a little bit left to right, blew it back onto the field to play a little bit. And a great time by Wenson, like you said, to track that ball. One of the hardest plays a catcher has to make is turn around, locate, and get to the spot.
Twisting around over the shoulder, mask off right away. But anyways, that brings up Royce Ando, the shortstop for the Spartans. First pitch to Ando is a ball. Ando is hitting .296 on the season. The 1-0 pitch. That one also misses low and inside, ball two.
And so far early on in the inning, Hendrickson relying on those off-speed pitches, just not quite locating them, which is not a good sign for him.
The 2-0 brings that one outside, away this time for a ball. Count now 3-0. And at this point, you have to fall back on what you know. Bring the fastball over the plate. Ando most likely will not swing here on the 3-0. Comeback pitch misses high as well, above the letters. Control here in the second inning, an issue for Michael Hendrickson as he walks Ando over to first base. Spartans with a man on and one out.
Yeah, the control just really all over the place. Missed with the curveball, missed with the changeup, then missed with two fastballs. So far, Hendrickson not looking very sharp out there. Hopefully for his sake, not going to have another outing like he did against Illinois where just couldn't quite put it together. You saw glimpses of it here and that, or every now and then, but seems to be the same deal so far today.
That'll bring up Zach McGuire, the first baseman. First pitch to McGuire, a called strike. Count 0-1.
There's another off-speed pitch. Got McGuire actually to way out in front of that ball, twisting it. I'm surprised McGuire wasn't taking all the way after Hendrickson didn't record a called strike or a swinging strike to the first two batters of the inning.
Would have been a ball if he laid off, but the 0-1 pitch. Trying to come back to that outside part of the plate again. McGuire does not offer the count even at 1-1.
Wenson doing his best frame job, not quite getting the calls from home plate umpire Michael Schultz. A bit of a tighter strike zone, but when you're all over the place, you can't really expect to get those close calls.
Spartans first baseman hitting .285 on the season, 6 home runs, a little bit of pop in that bat. Quick throw over to first, not in time. Bivens trying to apply the tag on Ando. Hendrickson not the fastest with that pickoff throw. Can see him coming with that left hand from a mile away. The 1-1 to McGuire. That one is swung on and fouled down the first base line. It'll get out of play and back into the parking lot. Count now 1-2. And somebody got a car. As the alarms blare here at Ray Fisher Stadium. One of the dangers of parking nice and close to the complex here at Wilpen. Might need a new windshield.
Got to protect yourself the best you can. Try to park as far away as you can, but sometimes you just can't help it.
The 1-2. This is low and away. Count evens at 2-2.
That was a good pitch there by Hendrickson. Located what looked to be a changeup there, just off the corner, just a little bit low. Tried to get McGuire to chase. And some great discipline by McGuire to not chase that pitch.
Hefty leadoff from Ando over at first. 2-2 pitch. That one is swung right back up the middle. It's going to be fielded by Thomas. He flips over to the shortstop, Berdar, and the throw over to first to Bivens is in time. Taylor-made double play to end the inning, 4-6-3. And that'll do it for the Spartans in the second. They get a runner on via the walk, but do no more. We head to the bottom of the second. The Wolverines leading Michigan State 2-1. You're listening to Michigan Baseball on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor and the Michigan Student Radio Network. Thank you for tuning in.
The Wolverine middle infield defense showing up again 2 innings in a row, getting out of the jams with some double play balls. And there's textbook right there. K.O. Thomas had plenty of time. Was a well-struck ball and did not disappoint with the execution.
Back to work on the bump for the Spartans here in the bottom of the second is Mike Mockma. Got knocked around a little bit in the bottom of the first. He gave up 3 hits, 2 doubles, and what very likely could have been a triple to end the inning, but Lewis was caught at third base on a slide after he took one down the first base line that bounced off the chalk. Back to work in the bottom of the second will be the Wolverines. Due up here in the inning will be Jake Bivens, followed by Nick Poirier and Jonathan Engelman. That's 6, 7, 8 for the Michigan lineup here.
The key here for Mockma coming out, his first at-bat to Bivens, it's going to be a big one. Bivens, probably the Wolverine hitter in the lineup, struggling the most. Did get a little hotter towards the end of that Oklahoma series, but if he allows leadoff hitter to reach again, especially with another hard hit ball like we saw at least 3 times in the first inning, would not be surprised to see some action in that Michigan State bullpen early on.
A lot of trust with Coach Eric Bakich keeping Bivens in. His averages dipped down to 268. First pitch, swing and a miss. Big cut. Mockma brought the heat. Bivens couldn't catch up to it. We say dip to 268. That's just a testament to how good these Wolverines hitters have been, where 268 looks to be the weakest average in the lineup. The 0-1, another big cut, another big miss, and looks like Bivens is trying to get that average back up to 300 in one swing.
Yeah, definitely looks like that, but some great pitches from Mockma. Look at the first one. It was more of a 2-seamer moving away from Bivens. This one, more of a changeup moving away from Bivens. It's really a lot of movement. I'm surprised at just how much we didn't really see it in the first inning.
He spins it well.
We didn't really see it in the first inning, and now it's really coming out here in this at-bat to Bivens.
The 0-2 pitch to Bivens. Another swing and a miss. That one is in the dirt. It'll be picked up by Byers. Throw over to first, gathered in time. Be a swinging strikeout. The play is made at first 3 pitches, and Bivens is down. So perhaps a little bit of a confidence builder there for Mike Mockma as Bivens continues to go cold at the plate for the Wolverines.
Can't let up now, though, with Nick Poirier coming up, who you could argue is one of the top 2, maybe the best pure hitter in the Wolverine lineup.
Drew Lugbauer may have something to say about it, but Poirier is hitting .324 on the season, 2 home runs and 15 RBIs. He's got 5 extra base hits this year. First pitch catches the outside black. Count 0-1.
I'd say pure hitter, more the hit to him. Lugbauer, obviously, head and shoulders above the rest of the team, and power, which isn't really to discount the rest of the team's power. It's just Mugbauer's that good.
The 0-1 pitch misses inside as Poirier takes a step back. The count is even at 1-1. A lot of applicable major league talent in this Michigan lineup, you could argue. It's not easy to make that jump, but a lot of these players have shown quite a bit of potential this year. The 1-1 just got a piece of that one as it's fouled back over towards the first base dugout. Count is 1-2.
After being very fastball heavy in the first, going a lot of off speed here in the second, whether it's the big breaking ball, whether it's the changeup. It's really impressed to see him mix those speeds. He's really got the Wolverine hitters off balance here to start off the inning.
Yeah, I'm sure the Michigan hitters got the same dial-up that we did in the scouting report. Heavy diet of fastballs from Makma. Perhaps the switch over to a lot of off-speed is throwing them off. The 1-2 pitch is going to be lined over into shallow left field. Ranging over from short to make the play is Ramirez as he wheels it in for the second out of the inning. We are just about to head away on 88.3 WCBN FM in Ann Arbor. If you're tuning in with us now, feel free to join us on YouTube, WCBN Sports, or on our website, WCBNsports.org. Again, thank you to our producer in the studio, Dalton Pataki, for standing in during the Daily Sports Report today to bring you Michigan baseball coverage. As always, we will leave you with a good night and a go blue, but rejoin us online. We're just in the bottom of the second inning here at Ray Fisher. That'll bring up Jonathan Engelman. First pitch outside and away. Speedy there. Couldn't bring the control in, 1-0.
Yeah, and perhaps that's the motive for going to a lot more off-speed pitches. Maybe not quite locating the fastball as well as he wanted, which could explain the hard hit balls, leaving him maybe up in the zone where the Wolverines could do some damage, but you can mitigate that by changing speeds a little more.
That one's going to be fouled back behind the press box here. Count now 1-1 on Engelman.
You can hear the oohs and ahs from the crowd here. All the bleacher seats just about full. It's going to be hard-pressed to find a few seats together at this point besides the nice back chairs that are relatively full themselves. A great crowd here for a Tuesday night.
The 1-1 to Engelman. That one is swung on. It'll get fouled down the third base, or the first base side, I should say. And out of play, back into that parking lot again. No alarms this time, though.
I actually missed the parking lot. He was able to hit that light pole out there, bounce back near the field of play. So nice
playing a little golf there.
Nice aim there by Jonathan.
Spared somebody a little bit more damage to the car. Yeah, and I got to say, the free hot dogs and hamburgers at the barbecue line, got to bring the crowd out here to Ray Fisher tonight. The 1-2. That one misses inside as Engelman props up to avoid it. Count runs even 2-2.
Been really patient up there, doesn't chase a whole lot. So when he's down in the count, as with several of these Wolverine hitters, one of them, Michael Berdar, who you saw a little bit earlier, when they're down in the count or down with 2 strikes, they're very poised up there, not afraid.
2-2, grounded over towards third. Play is going to be made by Bikina. The throw over to first is in time, and that'll end the inning. The Wolverines do no damage in the bottom of the second. We head to the top of the third. The Wolverines lead 2-1 over the Michigan State Spartans. You're listening to Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports and the Michigan Student Radio Network.
Big confidence booster inning there for Makma. Almost like we saw Hendrickson. Hendrickson wasn't quite as clean, did have that walk in there. Makma just looked really sharp to all 3 hitters he faced that inning, which is a marked improvement from the first inning. And if he keeps that up, we could see these runs add up pretty today. It's going to be up to Michael Hendrickson, the Wolverine pitching staff, to answer Makma's call and hold on to this 1-run lead.
As you said, both pitchers have made some adjustments after shaky first innings. Makma has gotten away from his fastball, showed a lot more off-speed in that inning, and it did him well as the Wolverines weren't able to produce anything in the bottom of the second. And you go back to the top of the second, Hendrickson was getting knocked around a little bit in the top of the first, and to his game as well, and now he's right back in it too. So as you said, keep that production up, and this game could stay at 2-1 for a good while.
Not exactly. It's not the worst thing in the world to come out and watch a pitcher's duel. You get a nice quick game. Get to sit out in the sun. Might have this one over by the time the sun goes down, which I'm sure these fans would like to go back to studying for all those students out there. Got finals coming up.
The lights are just about on here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Although the sun is far from down, it was a gorgeous day here in Ann Arbor, the temperature dipping to about 60 degrees right now, but campus was abuzz. Students are excited to be done with classes, and what a way to celebrate than get out and enjoy a ball game. Leading off the inning for the Michigan State Spartans will be the 9-hitter and the center fielder, Robbie Jones. He'll be followed by the 1-2, Kelly and Shimoleski, the left and right fielders, respectively. Jones hitting .333 on the season. The first pitch from Hendrickson is up and inside at the letters for a ball.
It's nice to have a hitter batting .333, getting his first start of the season here, batting in the 9 hole, but someone who can get on base in that 9 hole really changes the complexion of the order.
The 1-0. That one misses up and away. Count now 2-0. And Hendrickson, despite the fact that he had a quick inning the last inning, it still wasn't fantastic control throughout that second. The 2-0 swung on and belted over towards left field. Tracking over is Lewis right at the warning track in time to make the play. That one looked really good off the bat, and it came right back down at the track. Would have been a tough call with that large wall in left field. 312 down the left foul line. Give an additional 25, 30 feet on the wall.
Again, another hard hit ball off Hendrickson, though. With him, it's either he's not locating or he's putting him right where Michigan State can hit him because he's stuck ahead, behind in counts. Luckily, gets ahead here with that first pitch.
Yep, that'll bring up Bryce Kelly, the leadoff hitter for the Spartans, playing left field today. Had a single in his first at-bat. As you said, the first pitch in for a called strike, 0-1. And the 0-1 pitch, good off-speed breaking ball that comes on the inside part of the plate and catches the black, 0-2.
There's that breaking ball, again, mixing speeds. Hendrickson is at his best, and I've said it several times today. It's when he's using those off-speed pitches effectively.
The 0-2 pitch, that one is up high. Wenson had to get out of his crouch to make the grab. Wouldn't have done any damage had it gotten back, but good reflexes from Wenson anyways. Count 1-2.
Might have done some damage to home plate umpire Michael Schultz if that one gotten through, though. That was a bit of a headhunter there.
Still down in his crouch, got the face mask on. Schultz is all right. The 1-2 pitch. Called strike 3. That one catches the outside part of the plate. First strikeout of the game for Michael Hendrickson as he sends Kelly packing back to the dugout.
Pitched at bat of the day, not only because of the result, with the strikeout looking, but located pretty much 3 out of the 4 times, aside from that fastball high, which really didn't mean that much on an 0-2 count.
Served to change the eye level even a little bit, too. So that'll bring up Shimoleski. First pitch misses low for ball 1. Shimoleski was scored a triple. However, I think it could have been argued that it was an error by Slater in center, sliding on a shallow looper as ball with a missed slide. The 1-0 pitch, called strike on the outside part of the play, 1-1.
What that tells me is the official scorer was not a pitcher in his day. Not giving the pitcher the benefit of the doubt, giving him an unearned run or anything.
The 1-1 grounded over towards short. Charging in is Berdar. Throw over to first is in time, and that'll end the inning. Spartans go 1-2-3 in the top of the third. We head to the bottom of the third. Michigan leads this one 2-1. You're listening to Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports and the Michigan Student Radio Network.
Another sharp bat back there from Hendrickson, finally coming around in this game, perhaps being a little more comfortable on the mound. Already got through 3, which he was unable to do last time out. That should help his confidence. It would help his confidence some more as the Wolverines can tack on a few more insurance runs to make him feel a little more comfortable out there. It's still a tight ball game, very good ball game so far. And against Mike Mockma, they're going to have to work in order to do so. He doesn't walk many hitters at all. Doesn't really strike out many hitters either, but going to have to put the ball in play again. Done so far today. A couple doubles lead off the game. Another double by Lewis before being thrown out. Going to have to hit the ball hard so McGordy finds some holes. That's the way to score against Mockma. Got to break this thing open. Again,
Mockma had only seen limited action coming into this game. He's pitched just 13 innings before this one, and as you said, the sample size would indicate that the walks to strikeouts ratio, he had 6 walks, 9 strikeouts coming in. Opponents were hitting .259 against him. The Wolverines have already got to him early in this one, putting up 2 in the bottom of the first. They went quietly in the bottom of the second. Leading off for the Wolverines will be the catcher Harrison Wenson, followed by the 1-2, Akeo Thomas and Johnny Slater.
Look for an off-speed pitch here to start against Wenson. That seems to be the trend recently with a big, powerful hitter. He goes up there and looks for a fastball first pitch and gives it a big hack. If I was Makma here, definitely go with the off-speed to start things off.
Wenson, the lowest average in the lineup, just 202. First pitch called strike outside, but the Wolverines keep him in the lineup for that fantastic defensive presence behind the plate. Works well with every pitcher in the rotation, has done a good job with Hendrickson so far today. Showed some of his prowess getting to that foul out earlier as well to the backstop. The 0-1, that one is swung on. Popped over in towards right field, charging in is Shimoleski as he makes a simple play look a little bit more flashy, a diving grab down to one knee. Nonetheless, it is an out, first out of the inning.
He's playing really deep, perhaps respecting the power there of Harrison Wenson. And his first step looked to be back before he had to sprint in and slide and make that grab. Thought for a second that Wenson might be on with a little Texas leaguer, unconventional Texas leaguer, much longer Texas leaguer than you normally see, but Shimoleski able to make the play.
That'll bring Akeo Thomas to the plate. First pitch to Thomas, catches the lower part of the zone, tailing downwards, but catches enough for a called strike one. Thomas had a big double to lead off the game for the Wolverines in the bottom of the first inning. He would later come around to score. The 0-1 is grounded over towards short, grabbed by Ando, and over to first in time. Second out of the inning.
And sometimes you'll see shortstops sit back and those ground balls and not realize it's Akeo Thomas at the plate who can beat out any ball on the ground. That was a nice job there by Ando to recognize he had to come up a little bit, make that play. And a quick transition, no pumps, no extra movement, just pick it up, throw over, and retire Thomas with ease.
That'll bring Johnny Slater to the plate. Slater also had a double, part of that back-to-back lead off to the bottom of the first for the Wolverines. First pitch to Slater. Makma goes similar spot to where he went with the first pitch on Thomas. Catches the lower part of the zone for a called strike one.
If you're a pitcher, you want to work at the knees there. And the last 2 innings, Makma's been able to do that, locating really well. And added benefit, when you do miss, it's normally low as long as you're working down there where hitters can't do much damage.
0-1 misses off the zone. Count now even at 1-1. As Makma looks back down to get his sign from Byers. The kick and the delivery. Check swing from Slater. He did not go around that pitch. Missed outside. Count now 2-1.
Slater thought about it for a second, but a really good eye there. Didn't miss by much off that outside corner, but did miss just enough.
2-1 pitch. That one catches the upper outside corner of the zone. Slater with a quick kick back of the head. I don't think he liked the call from home plate umpire Michael Schultz, but the count now even 2-2.
Can't blame him too much. Looked at the exact same pitch, exact same spot, but this one was called a strike.
2-2 fouled off down the third base side. Stays 2-2. Slater stays alive.
Slater susceptible to that pitch that moves down. Would not be surprised to see Makma go with that breaking ball in the dirt here.
2-2. Comes back high and misses high. Count now full 3-2.
Or the exact opposite of what I said.
Just when you think you got this game down to a T. Leave it to Mike Makma to prove you wrong. Payoff pitch to Slater. That one swung on over in towards left field. Could get down in the gap between left and right. It goes all the way to the wall. Bounces off left center. And coming into second for his second double of the day is Johnny Slater. He worked himself into a full count. He made it an extended at bat, and he made it count as he wheels in with another extra base hit.
Don't look now, but Johnny Slater starting to heat up at last weekend against Oklahoma. Had a couple doubles, had himself a long home run, just an absolute bomb. That might have been farther than Lugbauer's last weekend. So far, twice today, twirling the ball, showing off even more extra base power. And if you're going to bring that in the 2-hole this lineup, it's going to be devastating for opposing pitchers.
Looking to keep the inning alive still is Michael Berdar, the shortstop. Flew out to right in his first at-bat of the game. First pitch misses outside. It was a sac fly. Scored the second run of the bottom of the first for the Wolverines. And now a time is going to be called as Byers wants to go and talk to his pitcher, Mockma, and that's going to bring the entire infield together on the mound. He misses with the first pitch, and now perhaps a bit of worry sets in as the Wolverines have a man in scoring position with 2 outs in the inning. They are up 2-1 on the Spartans. And Mockma is just trying to keep this one close and give his bats a chance against Hendrickson.
The best chance you have against this Wolverine lineup of keeping things close is you have to do a good job of locating around the corners, throwing strikes, but not where the Wolverines can do much damage with it. We saw a little bit earlier on, especially to Drew Lugbauer, after falling behind in the count, Mockma was able to come back and locate on the outside corner, locate away from where Drew Lugbauer's power is. You're going to have to do a similar thing here against Michael Berdard. Down the count 1-0 now. I'd imagine this first pitch is going to be heavily scripted, called exactly from the pitching coach Skylar Mead out there.
Yep, they both have their wristbands on. Byers has his pitch lineup on his wrist. He'll get it over to Mockma. The powwow on the bump ends. Broken up by home plate umpire Michael Schultz, and back into the batter's box is Berdard. Quick pickoff throw over to second. Might have gotten Slater sleeping just a little bit, but he's back in plenty of time either way. That's a hard pickoff throw to get him right behind you. Shading a little bit closer over towards second base is Durkin on the receiving end of that pickoff.
A nice big hole there on the right side.
The 1-0. That one is grounded over the left side, in between short and second, coming around third and headed for home is Slater. He is in time, and the Wolverines increase their lead to 2 runs on the RBI single from Michael Berdard.
A great piece of hitting there. Got one over the heart of the plate, shot it back up the middle. Exactly what you want to do there. Nice piece of hitting by Berdard to extend the Wolverine lead a little bit more, for keep the inning alive now. For, as you mentioned, Drew Lugbauer coming up.
The last man you want to see.
With 2 outs, I'd imagine his first hack here is going to be a big one.
Lugbauer, underwhelming in his first at bat. He grounded out to second. Trying to put a bit more of a stamp on it here. Quick pickoff throw over to first. Doesn't even draw a slide from Berdard as he steps one step back. He wasn't even taking a lead off, really.
Trying to catch him off guard over there. Get a nice easy out there. Not have to face Lugbauer with the man on.
The first pitch to Lugbauer. That one misses low and in the dirt. A good block by Byers. Count 1-0. Little bit of speed on the base paths for Berdard. He's 11 for 15 on the season in stolen base attempts. Can't think the Wolverines would be too aggressive here with 2 outs in the inning, and the best hitter at the plate. Another attempted pickoff throw over to first, not in time.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect him going here. And the shortstop, Ando, playing right behind second base. It's an easy play for him to run up and feel the throw from Byers. Wouldn't expect to see Berdard move.
The 1-0. Swung on and fouled back down the third base side. You know, every time he puts contact on a ball, I get a little bit ready.
But he has such a powerful swing. Even that foul ball there, it looked like he just missed getting all that one and sending it out. It's what he can do when you possess that kind of power and that kind of swing.
The 1-1. Another pickoff throw attempted over to first, and Mockma is very intent on keeping Berdard honest at first. But I'll tell you what, the last time I saw Lugbauer called a couple of games in that Penn State series, called a few home runs of his, and I'll tell you, you aren't lying about the power. The 1-1. That one misses well outside. Looked almost like a pitch out. They are very concerned about Berdard over at first.
Don't really want to take your attention off of Drew Lugbauer here if you're Mockma. I know Berdard does have that threat to steal over there, but the less attention you pay to Lugbauer, the more prone you are to giving up a huge extra base hit.
And this is where baseball games get into 3.5 and 4 hours, is the 6 or 7 pickoff throws that Machma is going to get in on Berdar at first. Meanwhile, Lugbauer's only seen 3 pitches. The 2-1. And I guess they got it right. As Berdar goes down the baseline and slides into second. I thought they were paying him a little bit too much attention. And, of course, the second they lay off him, Berdar gets his 12th stolen bag of the season as he slides into second base and into scoring position.
I don't know what to say. We didn't expect a steal. He ended up picking the perfect pitch to run off of, a breaky or a off-speed pitch that missed low.
3-1 pitch. Loops in, catches the outside part of the plate, count full 3-2. Second baseman Durkin is shaded about 10 steps into right field. Meanwhile, the shortstop Royce Ando is standing just right of second base.
Your right fielder Shemileski is basically on the warning track.
The 3-2 grounded foul down the first base side.
When I say basically on the warning track, I mean he's about 3 steps from the warning track.
That's
I don't think I've ever seen that.
One of the heftiest power shifts you'll ever see.
Especially at the college level.
This man commands respect at the plate.
The thing is, he's got such tremendous opposite field power, too. He's put a couple over that big brick wall in left field, went just left of center in one of the games against Oklahoma last weekend as well.
There's a 60-foot gap between second and third. The 3-2, swing and a miss. He chased up high, and Machma is able to put away the dangerous Lugbauer, and that will end the inning. Wolverines get a runner in scoring position, but do not score him. However, they put up 1 in the bottom of the third. We head to the top of the 4th, Michigan leading the Spartans 3-1. You're listening to Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports and the Wolverines Student Radio Network.
A huge strikeout there from Machma. It looked like there was some motion out there in that Michigan State bullpen. Don't know if anybody was full-blown warming up quite yet, but if he had allowed Drew Lugbauer to get on base, I imagine the activity out there would have ramped up and might have been a short outing for Machma. Nonetheless, able to stay in there to an extent, answer Michael Hendrickson, who finally looked good last inning. It took him about 2.5 innings to warm up before locating his fastball specifically and complementing that by changing speeds with those good off-speed pitches. Probably his biggest strength, as he touched upon multiple times today, are those off-speed pitches, his ability to change speed with that big looping curveball, that changeup that kind of drops out of nowhere.
Across the yard, a struggling Michigan softball team is still scoreless with the Michigan State Spartans in the top of the third. Spartans are at the plate. Not a lot of action over at Alumni so far tonight, but plenty of offensive production here at Ray Fisher on the Wilpen Complex in Ann Arbor, Michigan. The Wolverines, depending on which ranking you look at, they're 13th in Division I baseball rankings on NCAA. The coaches poll has them at 15. A lot of folks thought they could jump into the top 10 after a weekend sweep of Oklahoma, but still wary of this Michigan team as that was just their first ranked win of the season. Dan Durkin leads off the top of the 4th for the Spartans. Pitch misses up and inside for ball 1. It will be Durkin, Ross Kelly, and Byers. 1, 2, 3 in the inning. 1-0, misses low and away, ball 2.
You talked about their first ranked wins of the season, but they made quite a statement sweeping Oklahoma in the manner they did.
The 2-0, grounded over towards second, play made by Thomas. Hesitates for a second, throw over to first to Bivens is in time for the first out of the 4th inning.
Now you can count me in one of those people that were surprised that Michigan did move up into that top 10, specifically in those D1 baseball rankings. On the other hand, it seems just about all of the national media outlets buying into this team. They're a consensus top 20 team at this point. They can continue to take care of business in the Big Ten schedule. You have to imagine nowhere but up is the direction for the Wolverine squad.
I'll bring Chad Ross Kelly to the plate. First pitch is high above the letters.
And not getting that high strike today is Hendrickson. He's missed a few times up there, but a couple of them have been close enough where you thought maybe umpire Michael Schultz would give him something.
The 1-0, fly it over towards right field. Settling in underneath it is Engelman. Takes another step back and makes the grab for the second out. 2 pitches, 1 out on Ross Kelly, 2 outs now in the inning. Quick at-bats will not get the Spartans back into this game. They've got to sit back and try and time up Hendrickson a little bit more, if you ask me, but perhaps a bit eager to get back into this one after giving up another run in the last half inning.
Not only try to time up Hendrickson, but force him to put base runners on. He went down 0-2 on Durkin before getting the ground out. I'm sorry, 2-0 on Durkin before getting ground out. Went down 1-0.
Byers has taken a shot over towards right center on the first pitch, and that's all the way up to the wall as Byers rounds first and heads towards second. Engelman gets it into the cutoff at Thomas at second, and the inning is still alive for the Spartans. As you were talking, it was 1 pitch and a rip over to right center, and Byers scoots in, 3rd hit of the day for the Spartans as they try and get something going, a little 2-out action here in the top of the 4th.
What I'm learning here slowly is we have no idea what we're talking about up here. It seems every time we try to make a statement here, suggest something down there, whether it's maybe an off-speed pitch here, maybe take some pitches there. First pitch swinging results in a double for Byers, so I guess that's why they're down on the field playing and we're up here calling these games.
That'll bring Marty Bikina to the plate. First pitch to Bikina, that one looked pretty good, but must have missed somewhere outside for ball 1. As you said, home plate umpire Michael Schultz has limited that strike zone up top, and it's been okay to the outside and has definitely been hot on the lower end of the zone. The 1-0. That one misses outside again for ball 2.
That first pitch looked like maybe a changeup that kind of disappeared below the zone. That one missed well outside there with the breaking ball, and Wenson going to go out to talk to his pitcher. Try to rein him in here. He's still finding difficulty locating as you have to throw a strike that wasn't swung at or not put in play at this inning.
And that's what I was thinking. These Spartan hitters sit back a little bit more. The control issues have been there, and if you continue to foul off a few pitches and you wait for Hendrickson to make mistakes, he's done that so far this game, but Spartans will get into 2-strike counts or 2-ball counts and continue to swing and put balls into play and allow Michigan to create easy outs. Just so happened that right after I said that, we had Byers decide to put one over in towards right center for a double on the first pitch. But unless you're sitting on it and you're ready to tee it up, why not take your time with them?
I agree wholeheartedly there.
Count is 2-0 on Marty Bikina, Spartans' 3rd baseman. That breaking ball loops in. That was a very good pitch. I think Bikina might have been sitting fastball, and the ton taken off of that pitch confused him. It's now 2-1.
I was probably said take a hack at that. Maybe thought that hooked a little bit too far inside, but it looked good out of the hand before dropping down in that low inside corner.
The 2-1. That one misses outside and away, and a good job by Wenson to make the extension and grab that one, keep it from going to the backstop. The man has long arms, and he used them. Trying to keep Byers from advancing any further than second, which is where he stands right now. Hendrickson looks back towards second, the 3-1. That one hit on a rope over towards short. Grab is made by Berdar. Flashy leather, and the throw over to first is in time. And the Wolverines shortstop continues to work that glove over at short so far today, and that'll get the Wolverines out of the 4th inning. We head to the bottom of the 4th. Michigan leads this one 3-1. You're listening to Michigan Men's Baseball on WCBN Sports and the Michigan Student Radio Network.
Berdar so far today showing off that cannon over there. A couple times today, made some tough plays. Look easy out there. That one, I could show you a scalded ball towards that 3rd base hole. Not easy play, made it look easy. Took a couple steps over, backhanded it. That throw, maybe one of the, if not the hardest throw to make in baseball. At the very least, the hardest throw to make from the infield in baseball. Just a fantastic job there by Berdar to execute. He's been solid all year, as has his middle infield mate, Akeo Thomas. One of the reasons the Wolverines have been so good defensively is the stalwarts in the middle. Those two, Johnny Slater in center, had, for the most part, a nice depiction of that today, with the exception of that misplayed ball by Slater.
Quick update on the bump for the Spartans coming out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Mike Mockma's day is done. Taking over the duties on the mound will be Joe Mockby. Number 31 in the green and white comes into this one with a 4.76 ERA. He's 4-2 in the win-loss column. A bit more innings pitched, 28 and a third. Seen some more action. Hitters are hitting .261 against Mockby headed into this game. Walk to strikeout ratio fairly healthy as well. 10 walks, 37 Ks. Switching it up from righty to lefty.
Mockby seems to be the guy to go to when their starters can't quite make it deep in the ballgame. Like you said, pitched a lot of innings so far this year. A lot of wins and losses on his record normally indicate you coming in about this time in the game and you can get credit for those wins. When you starters like go 5 innings. Got those 4 wins on the year.
Leading off the inning for the Wolverines will be the left fielder Miles Lewis, followed by Bivens and Poirier. Lewis steps to the plate after he ripped one down the first base line, bounced off the chalk in his last at bat, was tagged out at third. First pitch loops inside, left to right, called strike 1.
That's a great pitch there, moving in on Lewis's hands. Nothing he could do with it. Wanted to swing at it, but realized what I just said, couldn't do anything with it.
Misses way outside. Count now even 1-1. Lewis trying to do what he did last time, show those wheels on the base pads. 1-1 pitch, that one swung on deep towards right center field. Tracking back is Shimoleski, and that one bounces off the wall. Gets away from Shimoleski, gathered by the center fielder, Jones, and the throw in for a stand-up double for Miles Lewis, and continues to tear it up at the plate, whether it goes down as a hit in the book or not. This one did. Could have 2 extra base hits on the day, but at the first recorded one. And the Wolverines have something brewing to start the 4th inning, the bottom of the 4th inning. Lewis on second with none out as Jake Bivens steps to the plate.
And a big boost there for Miles Lewis. Maybe struggling a little bit, that batting average skipping just a bit before really scalding 2 balls today to the wall. And wisely did let up at second this time around.
First pitch to Bivens called strike. Count 0-1.
Bivens looking to bunt there. Perhaps very cognizant of his struggles, specifically against left-handed pitchers. Eric Backage just trying to move Lewis to third with nobody out in the inning.
The 0-1 to Bivens. Tries the bunt, gets it down the third base line. That is beautiful. Bivens trying to get over to first. He is in time. Charging in from third was Bakina, perhaps caught a little bit off guard by the late bunt show from Bivens. As he is safe at first, the Wolverines now with runners at the corners and none out here in the bottom of the 4th inning, trying to advance an already 3-1 lead.
That is a picture-perfect bunt by Bivens. He put it right down the line, and in order for Bakina to make a play, he was going to have to barehand the ball. He opted not to, went with a glove, and thus had no chance with the throw. The speed of Jake Bivens legs out that base hit. What I assumed was going to be a sacrifice.
Perfect spot.
Exactly.
You're the resident Cubs fan. Who had that bunt last night that went all the way down the third base line until it hit the bag?
It was Kyle Schwarber, put it straight down the line. The guy you would not expect. And Rizzo did it later in the game. Not quite as picturesque, but
the most incredible bunt sequence I've ever seen. Pickoff throw over to first, not in time. Poirier at the plate now for the Wolverines, but boy, Schwarber, it rode the chalk all the way down the third baseline, and they were just waiting for it to go foul, and it had finally hit the bag at the last second. Fair ball. Should have gone for 2. First pitch to Poirier. Huge cut and a miss. Trying for a moonshot there, 0-1.
I'm not accusing the Wrigley Field grounds crew of anything, but it used to be back in the day when you had a team that liked to lay down those bunts down the line. You put a little more dirt on the foul side of the baseline and make sure it stays fair. Not sure if that was at play at all. Or
it took a little curve back in. We watch the replay after this one. 0-1, another pickoff throw over to first. I won't say anything this time because I gave Mockma a lot of – it's Mockma to Mock B, so it's a little confusing. But I gave Mockma a lot of hassle for all the pickoff throws earlier, but then Berdar went. The 0-1 called strike outside, part of the plate. 0-2 now on Poirier. Michigan State still looking for the first out of the inning. Mockbee has come in relief in the fourth after Mockma could only go 3 full, giving up 3 runs in the process.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Bivens going on this pitch. 0-2 in the count, possibly a breaking ball here.
And swing in the dirt. And the tag applied by the catcher Byers. Quick strikeout for the first out of the inning. Runners still stand on the corners.
It was that breaking ball in the dirt, too. If there was a pitch to run on, that would have been it for Bivens. Don't think he was really seeing Mockbee all that well. Mockbee went pretty quickly there from the stretch. Got set and then fired away. Didn't really give Bivens much of a chance to build up any sort of secondary or any sort.
That'll bring Jonathan Engelman to the plate. Grounded out to third base in his first at-bat of the day. Hitting .294 on the season.
Engelman struggling a little bit over the past couple of weeks. Had that batting average up near the 310, 320 mark. I think got up to about 323-ish. Just spitball in there, roughly what I remember being at. He's really struggled the past couple of weekends. Base hit here would definitely lift the spirits a bit and possibly propel him back up to those heights he was previously at this year.
Got a big gap between first and second to poke one through. Mockbee readies, and another pickoff throw over to first with Bivens chasing back. Bivens is 17 for 19 in stolen bases on the season, so the biggest base-stealing threat on the team behind Akeo Thomas.
He's taking a healthy lead over there. It looks like maybe leaning just a bit towards that second base bag.
Engelman, and there goes Bivens, and he will get down to second without a throw. Runners now at second and third with 1 out. And boy, the second these Spartans take an eye off Bivens, it's almost indifference.
They didn't really have a shot at that one, did Byers. Missed low and in. Looked like he didn't quite field it perfectly. Like the Bivens cruising in there nice and easily, trying to catch Akeo Thomas for that team lead in stolen bases.
Engelman has still only seen 1 pitch, the 1-0. That one swung on right over to third. A grab made and the quick tag applied on Lewis. Boy, unlucky on the base paths for Lewis so far today, but a fantastic play by Bakina over at third. It was hit on a line by Engelman, grabbed. Lewis had a couple of steps for a lead. He tried to slide back into third, but the tag applied in time. Another unconventional double play to end an inning for the Wolverines in which they threaten but do not score. We head to the top of the 5th. The Wolverines lead this one 3-1. You're listening to Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports and the Michigan Student Radio Network.
After Bakina perhaps at fault for letting Bivens reach by not barehanding the ball, that play more than made up for it. A really fantastic play. I think he dove and actually hit the base. It was just great reflexes over there to grab that. No, as soon as he grabbed it to dive back towards that base, most guys going to grab that, maybe hesitate for a second before making the play. Bakina did not do so and able to get his pitcher out of the inning. Really nice job there, keep this one close.
And after a pitching change for the Spartans, it is still Michael Hendrickson coming back onto the bump for the Wolverines here in the top of the 5th. His warm-up pitches as he continues to keep pitches outside of the zone, but has yet only given up 1 run and just 3 hits despite the command issues.
Looks like there is a little bit of movement going on in that Michigan bullpen, so not sure how long his leash is going to be, but...
And who said that bringing binoculars to a baseball game was an inefficient idea? Let's see if I can get a number here. Looking like warming up in the pen for the Wolverines is Carl Kaufman, number 37, the righty, freshman for the Wolverines. Looking to get a little bit of action in this one potentially.
And for the Wolverines, obviously the ideal thing here would be Henderson looks much better this inning, comes out, sets the Spartans down quickly. He's only got 48 pitches, so if he can find a groove and stick in it, he can still go a long ways in this ballgame.
It'll be Royce Ando, the shortstop, leading it off in the inning for the Spartans. He'll be followed by McGuire and Jones, 7, 8, 9. Here in the top of the 5th, as Hendrickson is settled back on the rubber, he kicks and delivers the first pitch. Swung on and fouled back behind the press box here for strike 1.
had Ando out in front there, went off speed to start the at-bat. Got to go with those off-speed pitches in unconventional situations, catch these Spartan hitters off balance.
The 0-1, that one misses well outside and scooped away by the catcher Wenson. Count even 1-1.
Of course, the important part is locating it where, at the very least, the Spartans are going to chase that one. Not even close.
The 1-1 pitch. Relatively similar spot. That one misses outside, away, and low. Ball 2. Ando walked in his first at bat back in the second inning. The 2-1. This is high and away. And again, Hendrickson, when given enough time, has proven that he's struggling to find the strike zone. And just like that, the count is 3-1. And Ando will be sitting back here. The pitch. This is up and away again. That's 4 balls that all missed to the outside, 2 low and 2 high. And the second walk of the game for Ando. Second walk of the game for Hendrickson. Michigan State with the leadoff man on here in the top of the 5th. They are down 2 runs trying to make something happen as McGuire steps to the plate.
Like you said, Hendrickson missing all those high into his arm side. A couple of them a little bit lower, but missing a lot off to that arm side. Be an indication of a number of things, but a lot of times it's not quite following through all the way on your pitches, not bringing that arm all the way down, releasing it too high.
First pitch to McGuire, again, misses away, and I'm watching the release here on that left hand of Hendrickson, and like you said, as he brings it back down, it looks like maybe just a split second early he's getting those fingers off the ball, and the control gets up and away. 1-0 pitch to McGuire. That one comes back. Quick throw over to first. Oh, almost a nice play made over at first base by Bivens. That was a heads-up play by Wenson. Almost caught Royce Ando sleeping as he was forced to slide back in. First base umpire Nathan Thompson right on top of it. Waves him back in safely.
When your pitcher's missing away, one thing that does benefit you as a catcher is you can make those snap throws over to first. Wenson, the senior back there, more than capable, more than knowledgeable to know a great time to make that throw. And like you said, almost got him. That was extremely close.
Behind in the count again is Hendrickson. 2-0. Looks over to first, checks down, delivers. That's a good pitch. Finally finds that outside part of the plate, but gets enough of the zone for a called strike. And as you can imagine, McGuire was just waiting for him to get one back into the zone.
And that one, too, still missed his spot high and away. Just was able to clip the zone enough.
2-1 pitch. That one misses high again above the letters for ball 3. 3-1, a hitter-friendly count. As Ando stands on first base, no outs in the inning. Spartans down 2. Trying to get back into this game against the number 13 Michigan Wolverines.
I think you got to go off speed here.
Over, and instead of off speed, it's a check throw over to first base.
Aside from the issues with Henderson locating that fastball, 3-1 count, McGuire's going to be dialed in, looking for a fastball he can drive over to Alumni Field out there.
Looking down and ready is another pickoff throw over to first, not in time again, and sliding back in is Ando. Ando on the base paths so far this year is 5 for 8 on stolen base attempts. Some speed, but just above a 500 average. 3-1. This is high and outside, ball 4, and Hendrickson's still going to stay on the circle. Eric Bakich is crouched on the third step in of the dugout. The action in the bullpen is still going for the Wolverines, as the center fielder Robbie Jones steps to the plate. Runners on first and second, none out in the top of the 5th. And the conversation with Eric Bakich. Finally, it looks like he's going to make the move after a long delay. He'll come out and likely take the ball out of Hendrickson's hand. We'll see. Hendrickson has the glove off.
Just made the call down to the pen for the righty.
He was looking for the righty. So if that holds true, the action in the pen to start the inning was Carl Kaufman, the freshman righty. We'll see if he's the one to step out here. And we will get you Hendrickson's final line after this inning ends. He is still responsible for the runners on first and second. And trotting out of the bullpen and over towards the circle is indeed going to be Carl Kaufman. Get you a stat line on Kaufman here really quick. A freshman right-handed pitcher, has only thrown 9 1/3 so far this season, but a .96 ERA. So the sample size, not huge, has been pretty good, though, in those instances in which he's come in to help. 156, the opponent average against him. One of many young arms in this Wolverines arsenal as Coach Eric Bakich continues to pull young talent to this maize and blue program, and he will take his time warming up.
Yeah, and the issue just with Michael Hendrickson, Dave, we touched on it a lot in this last inning. Missing a lot high to that arm side. It was pretty consistent all day, just magnified here in the top of the fifth. You're just not going to have any success if you can't locate your fastball. Sometimes you can get by if you're not quite as sharp on your off-speed pitches. They're missing a little bit farther out than you wanted to get some chases. But when you can't locate the fastball long to go around with it, it's going to be a long day for you.
Kaufman, local product out of Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. Homegrown guy. Homegrown night here in Ann Arbor. The sun is slowly starting to set with Chrysler Arena in the big house, our scenic viewpoint from the press box here at Ray Fisher Stadium. The breeze picking up a little bit, the temperature dropping a little bit, underneath 60 now. Still a lot of shorts and t-shirts out. Michigan fans have missed the spring, and it's here.
An intense moment here. You can almost kind of feel it in the crowd after those first two walks of the inning. The pitching change doing a little bit to alleviate that, but definitely a tight situation here for Kaufman rather. Coming in, Eric Bakich showing a lot of faith in his freshman. He has not been afraid to rely on freshmen early this year. You've seen Kyle Crawford, we've seen his Tommy Henry, another freshman coming in, making an immediate impact.
And a great experience opportunity here for Kaufman. Coming in a jam. Again, Ando stands on second. McGuire stands on first. Both were walked on. And now Robbie Jones, the center fielder, the 9-hitter, steps to the plate. First pitch, up and away. A pitch-out opportunity and almost a good throw down to second base. Goodness gracious, does Wenson have an arm behind the plate, but back in safely on the slide is Ando.
There's a reason many teams don't attempt steals against him. We saw it right there. Just on the money to second base. Bullet down there. I really wasn't that big of a secondary lead from Ando and still almost got picked off.
An absolute bullet as it just slid into second base. Right on the money. And after the pitch out, the count is 1-0. The pitch, bunted foul, back towards the Michigan dugout on that third base side. And the ball boy will collect a souvenir. Cool experience. Gotta love being the ball boy.
Oh, definitely. Running out there, the umpire goes to you. You got that feeling of authority there.
1-1. Another bunt. This one much better down the third base line. It's going to be a tough play over at first. The throw in time. Charging was Lugbauer. Bivens had to get back to first. Everything happens very quickly, but the Wolverines do a good job of producing the out. Runners advance to second and third on the play, 1 out in the inning.
And that bunt was almost the exact same spot we saw Jake Bivens put it in last inning. The difference, Lugbauer went with the bare hand on this play.
Rather than gloving it and making the transfer.
Exactly, rather than what we saw Marty Bakina do last inning and try to glove and throw over.
And they beat Jones by about a half step over at first base. That'll bring the left fielder, Bryce Kelly, to the plate. Had a single in his first at-bat, struck out looking in his last at-bat. First pitch misses away for ball 1. Got to be careful here if you're Kaufman with your location. Anything that gets past Wenson no matter how good his defensive ability is, will likely score Ando from third.
Unless he gets a nice friendly bounce off the small brick wall behind the plate here, it's basically guaranteed to be a run if it gets past.
1-0, pretty pitch on the outside part of the plate. Tickles the black, count even 1-1.
Perfect spot to put it. You're not going to let Kelly drive one into a gap and guarantee yourself 2 runs, put in the go-ahead run in scoring position.
The 1-1. That one swung on and fouled back to the backstop, 1-2.
And then he follows that up with a beautiful pitch, little breaking ball that starts at that exact same spot on the outside corner before hooking and coming back over the middle of the plate. Had Kelly out in front of it, barely got a piece of it.
Kaufman looks down to Wenson. A nod, foot to the rubber, and the delivery. That one swung on and fouled down the third base line. A good pitch. Kelly able to stay alive as he fights it off.
I'd be interested to see here if Kaufman working a little more inside out this at bat. See if he goes up high, tries to change the eye level on Kelly a bit.
Again, taking his time, getting his sign, shakes a few off, finds one he likes. And the delivery from Kaufman, that one misses away. Good block by Wenson to stay in front of it and just fight it off to dribble over to his left-hand side. Ando stays planted on third. The count now 2-2.
Yeah, decided to go with that changeup. It looked like moving away from the lefty Kelly, sticking with that inside-out sort of mentality in this at-bat.
The 2-2 pitch just misses on the outside. Close call. I thought he might have painted it there, but home plate umpire Michael Schultz does not give. Count now full 3-2. Runners on second and third, 1 out in the inning. Spartans down 2 runs, trying to come back with something in the top of the 5th. Kaufman looks down. The delivery just misses inside. And the bases are now juiced. 3 ducks on the pond after the walk. Just 1 out in the inning.
And they went with the off-speed pitch there on 3-2. I do agree with that call. I was thinking about the same thing. It looked like Kelly never quite saw the off-speed pitch 100% right, but it just missed a little too much to get him to chase.
That'll bring Shimoleski to the plate. The Spartans right fielder had a triple in his first at-bat again, scored a triple on the bad slide in center by Slater. Grounded out to short in his last at-bat. First pitch, a called strike, and now everybody in the infield needs to know their play. If there's a force at home and they can get it in time, that's the play to do. But the Wolverines are up 2. They can relinquish a run if need be, turning 2 also a possibility. The 0-1. Catches the lower outside corner of the zone. Pretty pitch. Quickly, the count 0-2 on Shimoleski.
A couple of fastballs pounded in there. You got a few more pitches to work with. You can try to get Shimoleski to chase a little bit. The only danger is you don't want something bouncing past Wenson.
The 0-2 pitch. Grounded, or swung on down the first base side. That just gets foul. Looked a little scary for a moment.
That one was ticketed for the right field corner. A 3-run double is with that. It was off the bat.
Sigh of relief as that one just goes foul. Kaufman trying to work out of a jam that Hendrickson started. The 0-2. Swung on, grounded over towards third. A scoop play made. Throw over to first is in time. Makeo Thomas, though, unable to make a play to first. It was well grabbed by Lugbauer on a high chop. And Thomas unable to make the play. A confident slide by Kelly into second base will undo his footing. And the Spartans will score a run on the play. It is now 3-2. I think Coach Bakich is going to come out now and talk to the third base umpire, James Mullick.
Not sure what there is to
I think he
discuss
might
there.
be arguing some kind of interference on the slide from Kelly.
Didn't look like there was anything too dirty about
He
it.
came right into the base. I don't think he came off the base path at all to try and knock Makeo Thomas out.
Yeah, not only did he slide on the base, it looked a little worse because that play was really slow developing. That high pop off the Ray Fisher Stadium turf caused Lugbauer to take a little extra time before getting to the ball. And throwing over to Thomas. I think that might have played a factor in how Eric Bakich saw it.
Should be a fielder's choice RBI for Shimoleski. And that'll bring Durkin to the plate. Now it's a 3-2 ball game here in the top of the fifth. Runners at the corners and 2 outs. Kaufman would be still considered a good job here if he gets out with just one run given up. First pitch misses away, ball 1. Durkin was hit by a pitch that he leaned over the plate for in his first at bat, grounded out to Thomas in his second. The 1-0. Swung on and hit hard over towards right field. Tracking back off the wall over Engelman's head. He is looping around, tries to get his throw in time. Cut off by Thomas. It's not going to be in time. Shimoleski slides in, and that is a 2-run double for Durkin. And the Michigan State Spartans now have a 4-3 lead.
And a poor play by Engelman there, playing it off the wall. He started to go back, realized he wasn't going to have a play on it while it was in the air, and then when he tried to try to play the carom off the wall, set up in the wrong spot. That's what cost him that second run coming around to score. Nice piece of hitting there by Dan Durkin, though. Found a pitch he liked and absolutely took advantage of it. A rope out there off the wall. I thought it might have had a chance of getting out of here.
Kaufman was put in a tough situation, and now 3 runs are up on the board in the top of the fifth. 2 of them will be accredited to Hendrickson. And that brings Ross Kelly to the plate. First pitch to Ross Kelly, a called strike. So now Durkin stands on second. Michigan State looking to continue their 2-out offense. A fielder's choice RBI and a 2-run double here in the top of the fifth for Michigan State as they have retaken the lead 4-3. The 0-1 pitch misses away outside for ball 1, 1-1 the count.
For a second there, I looked like Kaufman was going to be able to get out of the inning, only giving up the 1 run. Was not to be the case, though.
The 1-1 pitch misses low, blocked by Wenson. Count 2-1.
If I was betting here, I'd say this might be Kaufman's last batter.
There is still quite a bit of action in the bullpen. 3 arms have been tossing over there in this half inning. The 2-1 pitch grounded over towards short, grabbed on a hop by Berdar. Throw over to first will end the inning, but not before the Spartans put up 3 in the top of the fifth and retake the lead. 4-3 game in favor of the Michigan State Spartans. You're listening to Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports and the Michigan Student Radio Network. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, tough spot there for Kaufman to come in, and was able to get 2 outs before surrendering that big double, but he did surrender that big double nonetheless. When you come in as a reliever, one of your biggest goals is to not allow hard contact. And Dan Durkin's double off the wall definitely qualifies as exactly that, hard contact. Unfortunate for Kaufman, the freshman. He's been really good so far this year, but now it's up to the Wolverine bats to answer that.
As always, we encourage you to interact with us on Twitter during the broadcast at WCBN Sports. Let us know what you think of the coverage. Any questions, comments, concerns, we are always welcome to interact with the fans during our calls. As we continue to roll on here into the bottom of the fifth inning, the number 13 Michigan Wolverines facing a challenge right now against the Michigan State Spartans, down by a score of 4-3.
The Wolverine offense never really out of a game. We've seen them come back from 7-run deficits already this season, but it's definitely demoralizing if you're able to take a lead and then kind of fall out of it the way they did specifically.
Bring up the final line on Hendrickson. He went 4 full, gave up 3 hits and 3 runs. All of them were earned. He walked 3 and struck out 1. The recipient of some bad luck after walking 2 to open up the fifth inning. And we are back to game action here in the bottom of the fifth. Leading off the inning for the Wolverines will be the 9-hitter Harrison Wenson, followed by Akeo Thomas and Johnny Slater.
Both starters unable to make it through 5 innings. And both of them not factoring the decision at all.
Mockbee back on the hill for the Spartans this inning. His first pitch to Wenson misses away outside for ball one. Standing in, the 1-0 pitch. That one, nice pitch again as it comes back right to left inside on Wenson, but stays inside the zone. Called strike, count 1-1.
Looked like that one missed a little off the plate inside there. Wenson didn't really put up too much of a fuss about the call.
1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Count 1-2 now on the Wolverines catcher, who has flashed some defensive skill today, trying to get some offensive production going at the plate, hitting just 200 now on the season. As the Wolverines down a run, looking for some offense in the bottom of the fifth.
He was definitely trying to tie the game with that last swing.
The 1-2 misses away. Gathered in by Byers. Count evens at 2-2. Mockbee looks down, gets the sign from Byers, kicks and delivers. The 2-2 misses high, helmet high on Harrison Wenson, and it's now a full count.
Wenson will chase, but he's not going to chase something that far out of the zone.
See if he goes away here. The 3-2 tries it, grounded over towards short. An attempted diving play will not be made by Ando as it slides over towards left center. And on with a base hit to open up the bottom of the fifth is the Wolverines catcher, Harrison Wenson.
And despite the batting average, like you said, only batting 200, definitely doesn't look like it quite at the plate. He had tremendous back control there. Almost looked like he guided that one to that hole up the middle the way he swung it.
Great.
It's good to get that leadoff hitter on, especially with the top of the order coming up, who you know could just get something going like it's nothing.
Read my mind, got the weakest bat in the lineup on base, and now the flaming bats are back at the plate here with the top of the order. Akeo Thomas at the plate. First pitch to Thomas. Just misses outside. That looked like a good pitch. Held there for an extra beat by Byers, but Michael Schultz, the home plate umpire, does not give him the call. Count 1-0.
When you get a guy like Wenson on first base, Thomas right behind him. The bad thing is if Thomas puts one in the gap here, he's going to have to hold up to wait for Wenson. The good thing is if he puts it on the ground, you're almost guaranteed to not have a double play.
1-0 pitch change in there for a called strike, 1-1. Little to no lead off of first base from Wenson. Still chased back with a pickoff throw.
You got to respect the speed over there of Harrison Wenson. 1,000 on stolen base percentage so far this season.
The 1-1. Check swing. Appeal down to first base. They say he went. Count now 1-2.
Wenson over there, whopping 1 for 1 on the season. Not quite sure if Thomas went around on that one, but home plate umpire Nathan Thompson has a better view than we have up here.
The 1-2. Another good pitch. Tried that same pitch that got him the second strike of the at-bat. That left to right curveball inside. Misses this time. Count now 2-2.
There's a lot of horizontal movement on Mockbee's curveball, and that's what you typically see.
The 2-2. That one swung on into the gap and through between first and second. Scooting into second safely is Wenson. And Akeo Thomas has his second hit of the day as the Wolverines put the first two aboard here in the bottom of the fifth. Down a run and trying to claw back.
Yeah, the second baseman Durkin shaded over near the middle and double play depth. Couldn't quite get to that one. It's about where he would normally play if he was playing at normal depth, especially against a guy like Akeo Thomas. So Wenson getting on base pays its dividends early on here instead of having a couple outs in the end. You got a couple runners on.
And that'll bring Johnny Slater to the plate. Has been the Wolverines' most dangerous hitter so far today. He has 2 doubles in both of his plate appearances. The first pitch misses away outside, ball 1.
He's got 1 to right and 1 to left, so logically the next thing to do would be to put one off the center field wall.
Mockbee looks down the chute, trying to get the call from Byers, shakes a few off, and the 1-0. Check swing. That one misses low. No appeal that time. Slater held up, and the count's 2-0.
You can tell Mockby's got the scouting report on Slater when he's up against a left-handed pitcher. So it's tough to be able to chase in that breaking ball low, that breaking ball away. And Mockby does have that good curveball in his pocket. A little tough to bring out here on 2-0.
2-0. Slater showed bunt, but that one came inside close as he brushes back off the plate. The count now 3-0. Sun peeking out from behind the clouds over down that first base foul side. Still a good bit from going down here in Ann Arbor. The 3-0 pitch. That one catches the outside part of the plate. That seemed to be well off the plate to me, but home plate umpire Michael Schultz up with the right hand. And the count now 3-1.
Yeah, I agree there. I'm not sure if Slater maybe pulled back a little too late on the bunt. So I'm not quite sure on that one.
The 3-1, that one misses inside. And that'll walk the bases full.
Walk the bases full before two of the best hitters in the Wolverine, or two of the best hitters in the Big Ten.
And that'll now leave Wenson on third, Thomas on second, and Slater on first. Understandably, you were wary of Slater with 2 doubles on the day, but like you said, now you've got to face the real heart of this Wolverines lineup in Berdar and Lugbauer. And that's going to draw a mound meeting. Not sure what the call will be, if this might be the end of the day for Joe Mockby. I think, Austin, you're circling. They went lefty. We'll see who comes out of the bullpen for the Spartans. Hard to see the action from our vantage point over here. We're being told from the Michigan State SID that it will be Jake Lowry, junior righty, coming into the game. We'll get you a stat line on Lowry here. 2.96 ERA on the season for Lowry. He is 2-1 in the win-loss column. He's thrown 27 1/3 of work, 11 walks to 38 strikeouts, and opponents are hitting just 181 against Lowry.
And you see the logic here by Michigan State manager Jake Boss. He's well over a strikeout per inning, well over 9 strikeouts per 9. He's got 38 of them in just those 27 innings pitched.
And he's going to need 3 of them to get out of the inning here. Bases are loaded with none out in the bottom of the 5th. And the Wolverines threatening to take the lead back from the Spartans. They're down a run 4-3. And Lowry is going to have to do what Kaufman tried to do for the Wolverines in the last half inning and come into a sticky situation. Kaufman wound up giving up 3 runs, 2 of which were Hendrickson's responsibility.
And you've got Lugbauer and Lewis, who are definitely nothing to scoff at, especially the way Lewis has hit today and Lugbauer has hit recently over the past couple of weeks. But the biggest at-bat here is going to be the one coming up here with Michael Berdar. Berdar does not strike out much. Conversely, Lowry strikes out a lot of batters. If Lowry can't find a way to retire Berdar without him putting a ball in play, that'll go miles towards getting out of the inning here, especially Lugbauer. Susceptible to 2 strikeouts, susceptible to maybe rolling over one every once in a while.
Meanwhile, across the yard at Alumni Field, the number 19 Michigan Wolverines have taken a 2-0 lead on the Michigan State Spartans on the softball diamond. That one is in the top of the 5th. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Wolverines trying to do some damage as it looks like Lowry is ready to go on the bump. And coming to the plate, the always dangerous Michael Berdar.
Berdar. You just got to put it in play.
Yep, Berdar had a sac fly and an RBI back in the first inning. An RBI single in his last at bat in the 3rd. The first pitch misses low. Oh, called strike low, I should say. Strike 1.
That's a good pitch. Start off with maybe a bit of a slider there. Caught Berdar off guard there with the first pitch of the at bat.
The 0-1 pitch. On and a shot to left, tracking over towards the warning track, and a jumping grab made by Kelly in left field, but tagging up to score is Wenson. I'll tell you what, I thought he almost got that one all the way.
That was awfully close off the bat. It looked like it to go over that brick wall out there, ended up kind of dying before it got there. A nice play by Kelly to get back to the wall in time. A lot of guys once they see one going back towards that wall, tend to shy away from it and play it off the bounce.
Thought Berdar had all four for a minute. And that will bring Drew Slugbauer to the plate for the Wolverines with runners on first and second. 1 out in the inning. It's now a tie ball game, 4 apiece.
Interestingly enough, this matchup favors the Spartans a little bit more, I think, than the Berdar matchup did.
First pitch misses away, ball 1.
You wouldn't really think of it of Lugbauer with that power, and also Lugbauer being a lefty facing the righty Lowry, but Lowry has that strikeout potential. Lugbauer, one of only a couple Wolverines that are really strikeout prone in the lineup.
1-0 pitch to Lugbauer. Huge cut and a miss. 1-1 the count.
That's part of the reason Lugbauer goes down on strikes a little more often than you'd expect from a premier hitter. Takes those big swings early in the count, puts himself down a couple times.
The 1-1. That one misses, bounces. Lugbauer is going to wave Akeo Thomas over to third, and Slater will advance to second. It missed low, it was blocked, and Byers kept it in front of him, but then he couldn't track it after he got the mask off, and that allowed Thomas and Slater to advance. Now runners on second and third with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th.
And with the exception of a couple plays, that last one we saw there, that pass ball back in the first inning, Byers done a really nice job, had to block a lot of balls low in the dirt.
The 2-1, that one a shot down the first base line, just foul. Would have been trouble if Lugbauer had kept it just a bit more to the left. No damage done, the count even at 2-2. Lugbauer is now at an even 300, but a .614 slugging percentage on the season. Lowry looks down the chute. Readies and delivers. Huge cut and a miss from Lugbauer as he goes down again. His second strikeout of the game is the second out of the bottom of the 5th inning. And that's going to put the 2-out offense on the back of the left fielder, Miles Lewis, as he steps to the plate for the Wolverines. Has had a day in his own right. They actually ruled Lewis's first a double and then out at third. So he has 2 doubles on the day as well.
If there's a guy, at least in today's ballgame, Michigan wants up there, it would be Lewis.
First pitch. Swung on and missed.
Really
Good
nice
pitch there from Lowry.
Really nice change up there on the outside part of the plate. Had Lewis well out in front of that ball. And now you're not quite sure what's coming next for Miles Lewis. It's exactly what Lowry wants on the mound.
The 0-1. That one just misses off the outside edge. Count now even at 1-1.
Attacking that outside edge seems to be the key here. Lowry locating, unlike some of the pitchers you've seen so far today, notably Michael Hendrickson for the Wolverines, catching that outside corner as opposed to missing and not putting it close enough for the batters to chase.
The 1-1. That one misses again and blocked again by Byers. Lowry has been effective, but he's made the job hard for Matt Byers behind the plate. That's, I believe, the 3rd blocked pitch of the half inning. Runners still standing on second and third. Michigan trying to retake the lead after they lost it in the top of the 5th. They've now tied it up. The 2-1, that one swung on and fouled back off the third base line. Count 2-2.
Big pitch coming here. From what I've seen in this limited display from Lowry, I'd look for that slider either moving down in near the feet of Lewis or perhaps backdooring it on the outside corner.
The 2-2 pitch from Lowry. Swung on and missed. Spartans will get out of the inning after giving up just 1 run out of a bases loaded, none out jam. We head to the top of the 6th, tie ball game, 4 apiece. You're listening to Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports and the Michigan Student Radio Network.
It's exactly why Lowry was brought in to do exactly that. He's a strikeout pitcher out of the pen. Definitely delivered there. Didn't give him that slider, but had some good movement on the fastball. Just rearing down in the zone. Lewis couldn't quite get his bat around fast enough. We've seen why Lowry is called upon so much by Michigan State manager Jake Voss. An excellent job coming in there, working out of a jam that you thought for sure the Wolverines would take it for 2 runs, especially with the offense they have. Bases loaded, nobody out. Off the bat of Bernard, looked like it was going to be at least 2 runs. Nice job of recovering there from Lowry to bear down, get a couple strikeouts, pad his numbers even more. Those gaudy strikeout numbers. So he got 40 on the season.
In the pitch now for the Wolverines is Tommy Henry. Get you a stat line on Henry here in just a second.
Henry, another one of those Wolverine freshmen that Eric Bakich likes to call on out of the pen.
Little more action than Kaufman has seen. .78 ERA in 23 innings of work. Opponents are hitting .222 against number 47 in the maize and blue. Little rhyme there for you, Austin.
I like it. I like it.
Showing that high kick in the lefty delivery. He's thrown his last warm-up pitch.
Like you tend to see out of a lot of lefties. He's got a big looping curveball. That's really his go-to pitch is Tommy Henry's real good put-away pitch. When he's locating that, almost impossible for batters to do anything because it becomes so effective that they're almost caught off guard if he throws anything else.
It's Byers, Bikina, and Ando in the top of the 6th for Michigan State, trying to break through now in what has become a tie ball game. It's been a treat to watch here on a beautiful Tuesday night in Ann Arbor. And Henry steps to the rubber. Huge kick in the delivery. First pitch misses inside, bounces off the foot of Wenson and away for ball 1.
Showing that breaking ball, their very first pitch, didn't get a swing or a miss or anything on that one. Byers maybe just looking, waiting for Tommy Henry to come with something in the zone before he takes a hack.
1-0 pitch. That one just misses low. It was over the plate, but off the bottom part of the zone, 2-0. Standing with that wide open stance on the rubber is Henry. And the 2-0 pitch. That one catches the inside part of the plate and down. A tough one for Byers to get at a good 2-0 pitch. Brings the count back to 2-1.
Yeah, nice fastball there. It looked like catching that inside corner at the knees.
2-1 pitch. That one misses away and outside. Seems like that jerky motion that Henry's got might affect the way that arm comes down just a little bit. He's been kind of across the board with his first 4 or 5 pitches here. The 3-1. That one misses inside, ball 4. Another walk for the Spartans and another leadoff batter on base for the green and white. Top of the 6th, none out.
Oddly enough, it took until Hendrickson's last couple guys that he faced before Michigan State started taking those pitches like we suggested earlier. And that's continued all the way through both Kyle Kaufman and so far Tommy Henry on the mound, putting the Wolverine freshman in some tough situations. Runners on early in the inning.
It's going to bring Marty Bikina to the plate. Bikina steps into that righty batter's box. As Henry goes to a more closed stance and readies. That one misses inside for ball 1.
I can't quite tell if the Wolverines are trying to go off that inside corner or if Henry's missing his spots, but that seems to be where a lot of these pitches are missing, is right off that inside corner. 3
out of the first 6 have gone inside there. The 1-0. Again coming inside. That one catches the black, though. 1-1, the count now on Marty Bikina, the Spartans' third baseman.
And based on what Wenson set up, that one definitely looked like they were trying to go inside, trying to tie up the Spartan hitters. Henry's fastball, not the fastest out there, but when it's inside, adds a little bit of extra velocity from your viewpoint.
The 1-1 swung on a shot into center field. Tracking back is Slater as he goes all the way back to the warning track and makes the catch with one hand against the blue wall. Hit it about a country mile, but nothing doing for Marty Bikina, and planted on first is Byers, 1 out in the inning.
That ball just kept carrying and carrying and carrying.
390 to somewhere right in there, all the way to about dead center field.
If you're going to hit it that far, Wolverines are glad it's to that part of the park. Anywhere else, that's gone.
And now stepping to the plate for the Spartans, Royce Ando, the Toronto, Canada product, in that righty batter's box. And with the righty comes Henry's more closed stance, a pickoff throw over to first. Byers saw it from a mile away, back in standing up. Got to wonder if the Toronto boy is a Maple Leafs fan like myself.
I was about to ask, JP, how's that going?
Up 2-1 in the series against the President's Trophy winning Caps. The first pitch to Ando fouled off down the first base side. Life is good at the moment. And
for the record, I was with you there. I took a look at my NHL.com bracket challenge. I got Maple Leafs in 6.
I'm surprised. That's quite a pick. That's my pick, and I'm a fan. The 0-1. That one catches low and inside. Count 0-2.
I figured the Capitals, it's a matter of if they go out in the first or second round. And
every year.
The Maple Leafs felt right, so that's what I was going with.
Like this Michigan team, a lot of great youth on that team in waiting. The 0-2. Just missing low. That was a well-placed pitch from Henry. He seems to be honing in on his location at this point, but again, home plate umpire Michael Schultz has been a little bit here and there with the zone in different places so far tonight.
Seems to be kind of differing on a pitch-to-pitch basis at times. For the most part, that's not been a strike. We saw it called a strike on the 0-1 pitch.
And the 1-2. That one came inside, but Ando took a hack at it and fouled it back to the backstop netting. Count stays 1-2.
That's just tough when you're a pitcher. You're not quite sure where you're going to get the calls at. Not quite sure where to go with the pitches.
Henry steps back to the rubber. Looks down to Wenson, gets his sign. Looks over the high kick and the delivery. Swing and a miss. As Royce Ando strikes out for the second out of the 6th inning. Still leaving Byers on first base.
And you can see they're respecting that big off-speed curveball from Tommy Henry. That one missed a little bit high and away outside the zone, but Ando expecting it to dip back in as that big looping curveball does. Instead, it was a changeup instead that stayed up and away, got Ando to chase. And that's what makes Tommy Henry so effective out there.
That'll bring Zach McGuire to the plate. First pitch to McGuire is inside and blocked by Wenson. It was a walk in the last at bat for McGuire. Had a 6-3 double play in his first at bat in the second inning. So 0 for 1 on the day. The 1-0. Swung on, fouled back. Behind us here in the press box, count evens at 1 apiece.
Another thing that makes Tommy Henry so effective for Eric Bakich is he brought him in here. There's not a lefty due up until the on-deck batter and Robbie Jones. So very confident using Henry against righties as well.
One fouled back again up to the press box, 1-2. The count on Zach McGuire, the Spartans' first baseman. Michigan State trying to get something going with 2 outs here. They still have a runner on first in a tie ball game, 4-4. Quick pickoff throw over to first, not in time. Diving back is Byers.
We'll see if Henry goes with that big put-away breaking ball here on 1-2. Possibly try to backdoor it here on McGuire. Get him to chase something down in the dirt.
1-2, another pickoff throw over to first. Chasing back Byers. Byers on the base paths, just 1 for 2 all season on stolen bases.
It was a very Julio Urias-esque pickoff throw there by Tommy Henry, kicking the leg up and stepping almost at a 45-degree angle.
The 1-2. That one misses outside. Count 2-2. A few Michigan fans wanted it, but that one was a much clearer call for Michael Schultz behind the plate.
Harrison Wenson doing a nice job framing that pitch. Fans bought it. Schultz did not.
The 2-2. Swung on and fouled down the first base side. Staying alive is McGuire, extending this at bat. As Matt Byers is on first base, Michigan trying to get out of the inning with no damage done after giving up the leadoff walk.
Seen a couple of fastballs trying to put McGuire away. Didn't quite work out.
2-2. Henry looks in, kicks and delivers. That one comes inside and plunks McGuire on that outside left arm, and he'll trot down to first base. A lost hitter for Henry. Had him in a 2-2 count and just a little bit loose with the delivery on that one as it swings inside and extends the inning for the Spartans just a bit further with runners now at first and second with 2 outs.
I just flat out missed his spot there. Wentz was setting up outside. They were kind of pounding that outside corner against McGuire with fastballs that had a little bit of tailing action away from the hitter McGuire, and just missed his spot inside. McGuire took that one off the elbow and took his base.
Now to bring up Robbie Jones for the Spartans. He grounds the first pitch over towards Thomas at second. He gathers and throws, and that'll do it for the Spartans in the top of the 6th. We head to the bottom of the inning. This game is tied 4-4 between the Michigan State and Wolverines. You're listening to Michigan baseball coverage on WCBN Sports and the Michigan Student Radio Network.
After the last out of that inning, we finally saw Tommy Henry go to that big breaking ball. Didn't really show it a whole lot that inning. It's normally his bread and butter. Not sure if he just didn't quite feel it or if he was working backwards. Most of that inning, it seemed to be the case. But used it right away at the first pitch to the batter, Robbie Jones, and able to get that ground out. Able to keep it tied despite walking a couple. Wolverines, I'd imagine, would get the memo here with a Jake Lowry on the mound that you don't want to get behind in the count with his ability to put away hitters. Look for some early swings coming up against Lowry.
Back on the hill for the Spartans here in the bottom of the 6th inning is Jake Lowry, who came in the bottom of the 5th and got the Spartans out of a bases-loaded none-out jam with just 1 run given up. That run tied the game after Michigan State put up 3 in the top of the 5th. That leaves us at 4-4. Little chain smokers on the mid-inning music lineup here. Saw a great video this morning about how to make a chain smoker song. It's just 3 chords, and then think of words about being young and in love, and you have a chain smoker song.
That sounds pretty accurate there. I've seen they have I think it's the same 4 chords, like every single hit song ever.
You can do every single hit song in 4 chords apparently. Things you know.
Yeah.
The more you know. Leading off the inning for the Wolverines will be Jake Bivens, followed by Poirier and Engelman to start off the bottom of the 6th.
The thing they don't tell you about that to make a hit song with 4 chords, the problem is you need the musical ability, which
to play 4 chords, which I do not have.
Exactly. Neither do I.
First pitch to Bivens outside for ball 1. Lowry looking down the 1-0. That one swung on between short and third and into left field for a leadoff single as Jake Bivens goes back-to-back singles in his last 2 at-bats, and the Wolverines again with the leadoff runner on in the bottom of the 6th.
Attacking early against Lowry. You don't want to get down to the count against the strikeout pitcher that you mentioned during the half inning. Bivens doing a nice shot. That's the 10th hit for the Wolverines right today. Stranding a lot of opportunities, it sure seems like. Don't want to waste another leadoff single here.
That'll bring up Nick Poirier. Struck out in his last at-bat. Popped out to Royce Ando in his first at-bat.
Uncharacteristically quiet day for him so far.
First pitch to Poirier is actually a pickoff throw over to first, and getting back in time is Bivens. A close throw. Bivens might take 1 step closer back to the bag here.
Nice quick move there by Lowry.
Lowry settles in. Another pickoff throw. That one even closer as Bivens slides back in again.
Bivens already swiped one last time he got on. Don't want to the go-ahead run, get in a scoring position here.
Poirier still hasn't seen a pitch yet with another pickoff throw as Bivens slides in, and McGuire over at first base had a hard time handling that one as it bounced out of his glove and into foul territory.
These are really close throws. Lowry's got a quick move, putting it low where the first base McGuire can grab it and get a nice quick tag on. The only thing is it's coming really close to bouncing it before it gets to McGuire, and that's when you run into trouble and have the ball skipping past your first baseman.
Still no pitch to Poirier, and the fourth consecutive pickoff throw will draw the jeers of the Ray Fisher crowd here.
Be interested to see if Poirier's looking to swing here first pitch after so many pickoff throws. To be betting on Lowry to make a mistake on the first pitch of the at-bat.
Poirier still hasn't seen a pitch. The first one he does see catches the outside part of the plate for strike one. Another pitch that looked to be off the plate outside, but a called strike from the home plate umpire, Michael Schultz.
It seems to be like Michael Schultz is really susceptible to where the catcher's setting up. If you miss your spot, you're not going to get a call, whereas Byers was set up off that outside corner. Lowry hit his spot and got the call.
The 0-1. Poirier showed bunt, but the pitch gets away from Byers, and scooting down to second is Bivens. Now a runner on second with none out, and the count is 1-1 on Nick Poirier.
Runner in scoring position. You got to cash in here if you're the Wolverines after having the bases loaded, only scoring one last inning. To let this opportunity go by the wayside would be a huge momentum swing in favor of the Spartans.
Lowry looks down, gets his sign, kicks and delivers the 1-1. Check swing from Poirier. That one comes inside. The appeal down to third is that he did not go. Counts now 2-1. And yeah, you talk about timely hitting. That's one of those big momental things that makes the difference between a top 10 team and a top 20 team.
And we saw a lot of that this weekend, especially in that 14-4 win over Oklahoma State. 9 of those runs were 2-out runs. The Wolverines were able to find holes, put the ball in play with 2 outs in clutch situations and really cash in, which made the offense so good this year. Beat the Oklahoma Sooners 3 times, struggling here against the Michigan State Spartans. That shot by Poirier is going to drop in right field, a base hit. Bivens looked like he was going to make a hard turn at third, but then stopped up as he will stay planted. Now runners at the corners with none out, courtesy of the single from the Wolverines designated hitter, Nick Poirier. I think it was the right move to hold Bivens over there at third base. The right fielder, Shimoleski, so far today has been really impressive defensively. Part of that relay throw that gunned out Lewis at third earlier on. He's made a couple strong throws that were either just off the mark or weren't really have a play at the plate, got cut off or whatever, but so far, really impressive over there. Prevented a run from scoring on that play by being so aggressive, coming in, making a strong throw.
That's going to bring a meeting out to the mound now. Not sure if we had a call for an arm from the skipper boss. Looks like we will see a pitching change now for the Spartans. You got an eye on it. It is Walter Borkovich,
senior right-hander.
I think I've got that right. Borkovich. See if we can get a stat line on Borkovich for you. 1.82 ERA coming into this one, 4-2 in the win-loss column, 34 2/3 innings of work. Not a great strikeout to walk ratio, 10 walks to 24 Ks. Opponents are hitting .240 against Borkovich.
The most imposing figure on the team, though, stands at 6'5", 217 out there. Both the tallest and the heaviest pitcher they're going to be throwing out there for the Spartans.
Borkovich out of Traverse City West High School. And as you said, he is not a small man, 6'5", 217 pounds. He has the build of a major league pitcher as he sets up with that horizontal righty delivery in his warm-up pitches. Again, to set the scene, Michigan has runners at the corners, Poirier at first, Bivens at third. It's a tie ball game, 4-4 here in the bottom of the 6th inning, no outs. And Jonathan Engelman is poised to step to the plate as soon as Borkovich finishes his warm-up.
Engelman touched on it again. We touched on it before. I'll touch on it again here. Struggling so far twice today, ended the inning. Grounded out back in the second. Lined into that unfortunate double play back in the fourth. It's even more painful when you're in a slump and you hit the ball hard. It just happens to go right at someone. It seems like the baseball gods just don't want you to have any success out there.
Double play, 5 unassisted in the last at-bat for Engelman. That ended the 4th inning for the Wolverines. Coming back here in the bottom of the 6th, looking to do something. All it would take is a fly ball deep enough to allow the speedy Bivens to tag. Although a check throw over to Poirier at first will prevent Engelman from seeing the first pitch.
Wouldn't be surprised to see some sort of double steal put on here by Eric Bakich. He's done it before.
The 0-0 pitch misses outside for ball 1.
Well, he didn't look to be taking an overly aggressive lead. Didn't look to be trying to get a jump on anybody out there.
Don't think the scoreboard is caught up yet. It has it at 0-1 the count. But this is the 1-0 pitch. Another throw over to first, and that one bounces off of Poirier into foul territory, and Bivens thought about it for a second, but scampers back to third.
I like the aggressiveness, though, out of Bivens. Got to be ready. If that ball trickles maybe just 5 more feet away from the first baseman, McGuire, he scores on that play.
The 1-0 pitch to Engelman. Shows bunt, pulls away. And I guess he did call the first pitch a strike. He went up 1-1 with the hands, but I didn't see the right hand go up on the first pitch. Nonetheless, the count is even at 1 apiece.
I think Engelman might have taken a hack at that first pitch. I don't know. It's been a little while with that pickoff throw. Kind of throws you off.
The 1-1. Swung on and chopped over towards short. A jumping play made by Ando as he throws over to first in time, but the run will score as Bivens crosses the plate and Michigan retakes the lead 5-4 on the RBI ground out from Engelman.
I shot that at Engelman, just put it in play. You cannot strike out in that situation. And even if you're slumping, even if you're not getting on base, you can do your part to help the team when you are able to do things like that. It's little things like that just not striking out that lead to victories. You're not going to see in the stats sheet. You're going to see that he did pick up the RBI on the play, but you're not going to see just how important not striking out in that situation was.
Poirier advances to second on the play, so he now the lone base runner on the base paths for the Wolverines, with Harrison Wenson, the catcher, stepping to the plate. First pitch to Wenson, misses away.
Interesting there. Went with the fastball first pitch. Wenson normally looking fastball first pitch, looking to drive something. That one just missed. Well off the plate, couldn't do anything with it.
Borkovich, foot on the rubber, delivers the 1-0. That one a called strike, catches the outside, well located, 1-1.
Well located. Didn't go with another fastball. It looked like it had to change, maybe a little tailing motion back toward the arm side of Borkovich.
Wenson had a single in his last at-bat, trying to bump that average up. He's up to 207. 1-1 misses outside, 2-1. .207, but a .308 on base percentage. Takes his fair share of walks, even with the gaudy strikeout numbers. He has a really nice control of the plate a vast majority of the time. Just has a couple holes that he doesn't quite patch up at times. The 2-1. Check swing did not go. That one misses low and away. Count now 3-1 on the Wolverines catcher, Harrison Wenson.
Here's a prime example of controlling the plate when you're out there, Wenson. That was a good pitch. He probably could have put that one in play if he wanted to, but missed just a little bit low, and good eye to lay off of it.
Wenson, time called as he steps back for just a moment. Readies himself again and steps back to the batter's box. Waiting on the 3-1 from Borkovich. He delivers. That one misses low for ball 4. And Wenson is on base again with a walk, and the Wolverines now have runners on first and second with one out. They've retaken the lead here in the bottom of the sixth, looking to expand on that in a 5-4 ball game. And we are back to the top of the order for the Wolverines with a K.O. Thomas coming to the plate.
So far, all 3 times top of the orders come up. They've produced some runs. So big here to put a couple runners on base before getting there. Looking to put up maybe a crooked number here in the bottom of the sixth.
The sun is finally disappearing in the Ann Arbor sky over on that first base foul side, as there's now a meeting on the mound with Borkovich. No pitching change coming here. But again, a bit of a sticky situation. Runners on first and second. Borkovich going to need to break out the Dapper Dan to set down Thomas, who will be followed by Slater, Berdar, and Lugbauer.
Perhaps discussing if Thomas tries to lay down a bunt, maybe. You know, last season he led the Big Ten in sacrifice bunts. Didn't put down any. Hasn't really bunted much this season. But could be a spot here to maybe spring one on the Spartans, load up the bases if he lays one on the right spot.
The meeting is over. And Borkovich is back on the mound. And to the plate is a K.O. Thomas. First pitch in there for a called strike, low and away. 0-1 the count.
Thomas not afraid to take that first pitch. You see it time and time again. As a leadoff hitter, you're just kind of sitting in there waiting for a good pitch to hit. Don't be afraid to get down a little bit in the count. Excellent job at that.
Borkovich delivers. That one catches the outside part of the plate again. A well-located pitch, and the count quickly 0-2 on the speedy and dangerous leadoff hitter, K.O. Thomas.
Another situation here where you just want to put it in play at the very least. Thomas shouldn't have to worry too much about hitting into a double play unless he scalds one right at a fielder.
And the 0-2 misses well outside. Good job to get in front of it by Byers, prevent the runners on first and second from advancing. Borkovich takes a look over to left center field to take a peek at the softball game and brings his head back to the baseball game. The 1-2. That one, Thomas just getting a piece of it. Fouled into the chest protector of the catcher, Byers.
And Byers needs a second after that one.
That'll rock you a little bit. That's a well-padded chest protector, but take that ball coming in right off the bat of Thomas. And
yeah, you get it in the right spot. It'll still knock the wind out of you.
Yeah, it'll give you a jolt. Counts 1-2 on the Wolverines' second baseman. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on, fouled down the first base line, back towards the parking lot.
Based on the oohs and ahs, I think.
Get a car there?
Hit a car, maybe just missed one. Didn't hear a bang or anything out there, but.
Does not matter to Thomas. He's focused on the at-bat, staying alive at 1-2. The pitch from Borkovich. That one grounded down the third base line. And again, fighting off the pitches he doesn't like, waiting to find something that's good. K.O. Thomas extending the at-bat and working Borkovich for all he can.
Trademark of a good leadoff hitter, really a good hitter in general, just fouling off pitches the pitcher wants you to swing and miss at, and you're able to just get pieces of them and stay alive.
The 1-2. Swung on, foul down the first base line, tailing away into the parking lot again. And Thomas will just refuse to go down here as Poirier stands on second and Wenson stands on first in a 5-4 ball game in favor of the Wolverines in the bottom of the sixth with one out.
Borkovich attacking down the zone over and over against the K.O. Thomas whenever he tries to go up here.
The 1-2 misses away outside. 2-2 the count now on Thomas, and if he has to foul off 6 more to get to the next ball, then he will do so.
I've seen him do similar things before. I want to say he had a double-digit pitch at bat last time out.
Borkovich kicks and then looks back to second base. His second baseman Durkin was not interested in coming to collect a pickoff throw. As Poirier scoots back to the bag. The 2-2 to Thomas. That one swung on, grounded, just fouled down the third base side again.
Again, not really much Thomas can do with these pitches, so he's doing a nice job. But it's coming a little inside. He's turning the hips and firing it foul on the left field line. If it's maybe a little too quick for him or outside over the outside part of the plate, he's shooting it off towards right field. Textbook hitting.
A whale of a battle here with the 2-2. That one misses low. The count is now full 3-2, and quite the battle between the 5'8" Akeo Thomas and the 6'5" Walt Borkovich on the mound for the Spartans.
David versus Goliath-esque scene here.
Thomas rounds up his sling. Waiting on the payoff pitch from Borkovich. Steps off the rubber again. Very close to a balk, and I believe it will be called. Call is made by the home plate umpire, Michael Schultz. It was Borkovich had his foot on the rubber, and he looked over, and you make that false move, and the runners will advance. Poirier now on third, Wenson now on second. Still a full count to Akeo Thomas, and that is a mindless mistake there by Borkovich.
Yeah, it seemed like he changed his mind halfway back. He looked like he was going to try to turn back towards Poirier at second. If he would have done so and just stepped off, it would have been fine. Instead, he changed his mind halfway through and stepped off towards third, and that's a balk. There's no one over there.
Payoff pitch to Thomas. Swung on and fouled back again. 5'8" and 160 pounds, and he just won't go back to the dugout.
Already 11 pitches in the at-bat. Fantastic job. You got to be tired after that, fouling off so many pitches.
Borkovich going to try and get him with the 12th pitch of the at-bat. He looked down, and this time he stepped off the rubber. Going to be real careful now with the runner on third. Thomas steps back.
Course, he can step towards third now, which cost him the balk in the first place.
The 3-2. Swung on and grounded. Past the diving glove of the third baseman, Bakina. Coming around to score is Poirier. Stepping into third is Wenson. The 12th pitch of the at-bat is the good one for Akeo Thomas, an RBI single to left, and the Wolverines now lead it 6-4. A whale of an at-bat between Thomas and Borkovich, and Thomas is the winner.
Just waited him out, waited him out, waited him out. Finally got that pitch that he could at least put in play with some authority down that hole on the left side and deposited that one past Bakina there. I thought Bakina was going to have a play on it. It almost crossed him up. He dove, didn't really need to dive. He would have taken a step to his left, might have had a play on it.
Got to be the leader for one of the best at-bats I've seen so far this season out of this Michigan baseball team. And the hits just keep coming with Johnny Slater now stepping to the plate for the Wolverines. Runners at the corners with one out. Slater walked in his last at-bat. Step off the mound there from Borkovich. 2 doubles also in the column for Johnny Slater. 2 for 2. Has been on base 3 times. Having himself a night.
Definitely heating up at the right time for Michigan.
First pitch from Borkovich comes inside, and perhaps the long at-bat with Thomas has left him a bit winded and maybe a bit questioning his stuff. A little bit indecisive here early in the at-bat with Slater.
As a pitcher, you go through an at-bat like that, you're trying everything. You just can't put a guy away, and it's kind of hard to turn the page and move on after an at-bat like that.
Pickoff throw over to first. If he couldn't get Thomas at the plate, maybe he'll try and get him on the bag. Thomas slides back in safely.
Not sure if they'll send Thomas here during this at-bat. On one hand, he obviously has the speed to get in there and put himself in scoring position. On the other hand, only 1 out in the inning and your big bat's coming up. There's really no need to force the issue and give Borkovich a free out there.
He is 20 for 24 in stolen bases so far this season. Slater, meanwhile, awaits the 1-0 pitch. That one comes right over the heart of the plate. His first strike of the at-bat, count now 1-1.
Would have been a good pitch to hit there for Slater. That patient approach, though, he's gone to a full count back when he hit one of those doubles, drew a 3-1 count before walking. not afraid to take a pitcher deep in the count if he doesn't get one in the perfect spot for him.
1-1 brushes Slater up inside as he twists away. 2-1 the count on the Wolverines center fielder.
I'll tell you what, that one looked pretty good up here. Better than some of the pitches we've seen called strikes throughout the game today.
Perhaps the twist, a little bit of acting, does him a favor. Another pickoff throw over to first as Thomas slides back in. His lead becoming a wee bit shorter by wee bit shorter with every pickoff throw to first.
That tells me he doesn't plan on going anywhere. Just
the 2-1. That one swung into left center field. Thomas was gone on the play. This one is down. Delaying at third base was Wenson. He will come around to score. Thomas will come in standing up as well. And how about a day for Johnny Slater? The third double of the day, his second and third RBIs of the game, and the Wolverines have now doubled up on the Spartans. They lead this one by a score of 8-4.
Like I said, he's not going to go over there. Of course, he goes on the pitch and ends up resulting in a run for the Wolverines. Michaela Thomas doesn't score if he's not stealing on that play. But because he got that little extra head start, even hesitated going around second to make sure it dropped. Still score with that speed. And like you said, Johnny Slater just ripping the cover off the ball. He put one into the right field corner, into the left field corner. That one off near center field. He's got all your bases covered.
That's going to do it for Walt Borkovich. The 6'5" right-handed pitcher has been chased right out of the game, and you got to think a lot of that is due in part to the 5'8" battle with a K.O. Thomas.
Crazy to think. I mean, again, another thing that's not going to go in the box scores, you're not going to see that was a 12 pitch at back there by Thomas that really wore him down for Slater. But it's this Wolverine lineup just doing their job, turning it over to the next guy because they have faith that the next guy in the order can get the job done, not only adequately, but with ease, as Slater just displayed.
And coming into the game now to pitch for the Michigan State Spartans, Andrew Sabrowski. Oh, it's a 36, not a 16. My mistake. Coming into pitch for the Michigan State Spartans will be, all we have is M for a first name, but Tyransky, the last name. Tyransky, 4.32 ERA and 8 1/3 innings pitched so far this season. Opponents hitting .212 against him. I would like to know what Tyransky's first name is, so I'm going to Google it.
It's Mitchell Tyransky out of Bloomfield Hills, Michigan.
There you go.
The freshman.
Both the stat broadcast and the stat sheets just post as M. Tyransky.
Hey, don't normally see that. We got it on our official roster sheet, but everywhere else.
It's not a terribly long last name.
No. Yeah, we've seen other ones. Borkovich, for example, Walter Borkovich, his name was shrunk to put on our stat sheet here, but they didn't do so for Mitchell Tyransky.
Now Tyransky will try and end the inning. Michigan has already put up 4, an ugly number for the Spartans in the bottom of the 6th. Michigan leads this one by a score of 8-4. 13 hits to 4 hits in favor of the Wolverines as well. And you got to think if Slater didn't make the bad slide in center in the first inning, it would be an even bigger lead for the Michigan Wolverines.
I mean, that only resulted in 1 run, but it set the tone early on for the Spartans to think they could hang in there with this Wolverine squad. And up to this point in the bottom of the 6th, they've done a great job of doing so. Wolverine bats have really come alive here, finally driving in runners after getting them on base.
And Michael Berdar at the plate. First pitch from Mitchell Tyransky is a called strike.
Speaking of driving runners in, Michael Berdar, an RBI in each of his 3 at first plate appearances.
Yep.
Couple sac flies and an RBI single.
Another sac fly in his last at bat. Quick jump by Tyransky to force Slater back to second. A weird kind of double-footed hop as he hopped off the rubber, but no throw. Perhaps just a bad jump, but also a very weird technique.
You don't normally see that often. You see it even less often without a throw. I'm going to make a quick move like that. You're at least going to make a toss over there and try to pick off the runner, but didn't really have a shot at Slater. He's maybe 7 feet off the bag, not really taking a big lead.
Count is 0-1 on Berdar, but Tyransky seems uncomfortable on the mound. He's going to bring out Byers from behind the plate. And Durkin at second base will also come in to chat with him. Meanwhile, across the Wilpin Complex, Michigan softball holds a 3-1 lead over the Michigan State Spartans at the top of the 7th. Megan Betza trying to close out that game on the softball diamond. Needs 3 more outs to do it. Michigan currently ranked 19th on the softball diamond. That dropped after they lost 2 to the Maryland Terrapins in College Park over the weekend. Mitchell Tyransky is settled now as he's back to the rubber as he delivers. Leaving for third on the play is Slater as he slides in with no throw. A stolen bag for Johnny Slater as he moves over to the corner with just 1 out, and now Berdard just needs to get one in the air.
Slater's timing on his stolen bases is impeccable. He's still perfect on the year, 11 for 11.
When he chooses to go, he does it right.
Exactly. He just picks the perfect opportunities there. Completely caught Michigan State off guard.
1-1 pitch to Berdard. That one misses outside for ball 2.
Like you said, just needs to get one on the air here. Berdard's done it twice already today. Probably thinking that.
Third sack fly of the game. Slater's got the speed.
Yeah.
No problem. Waiting on the 2-1 pitch from Tyransky. He kicks and delivers. That one catches the outside part of the plate, held there for an extra beat by Byers, and he gets the call 2-2.
Bonus here, the Michigan State infield playing in. So if Berdard hits a hard one, there's a little more room to work with, a little less range for those Spartan infielders.
Waiting on the 2-2 pitch from Tyransky. That one is shot over to second base. It's gathered by Durkin, and a quick throw over to first as Slater is forced to hold up at third. Second out of the inning. And now it'll all fall on Drew Lugbauer.
Of course, when you hit, you can hit it hard, but you got to hit it where they're not. That one directly at Dan Durkin, one of the easiest plays he'll make all game, if not all season.
Standing right on the line of the infield with the dirt and the grass. Inside line, I should say. And that'll bring Drew Lugbauer to the plate. First pitch from Tyransky. That one just misses outside, maybe a bit low for ball 1.
Lugbauer, uncharacteristic with that 0-for-3 day, couple of strikeouts. I'm sure he's looking to change that. Expect a couple of big swings here in this at-bat at the very least.
The 1-0 pitch to Lugbauer. That one comes right back over the heart of the plate. Good action on that. Lugbauer thought it was coming inside, tailed at the end. Count now 1-1.
Yeah, Tyransky has the advantage out lefty-lefty matchup. Slung that breaking ball across the zone. Really nice job there to get ahead, or to even up the count, rather.
The 1-1 pitch from Tyransky. That one fouled back behind us here in the press box. Count now 1-2.
And there was that big swing from Lugbauer. Down in the count, though, again for the third time in the ballgame. Looking to avoid the hat trick.
Lugbauer standing in there, waiting on the 1-2. Huge jump from Slater over at third. I don't think Tyransky's seen him. And the 1-2 dips under the zone. Count now even at 2-2.
That move's a little more effective when it's against a righty staring right at you at third base. But Tyransky, I'm sure, can see Slater out of the corner of his eye just a little bit. Slater can't get too far off. Bakina still playing near that bag despite the giant shift, but get in the head of Tyransky, give Lugbauer something to hit.
2-2 misses up and away. Count now full on Drew Lugbauer. He's got Johnny Slater standing on third. Michigan has put up 4 in the bottom of the 6th. They lead 8-4. Lugbauer stands tall. The payoff pitch, perfectly placed. Breaking ball slid inside out, and it fooled Lugbauer, his third strikeout of the game. And that'll end the bottom of the 6th inning for the Wolverines, not before they tack on 4 runs. We head to the top of the 7th. Michigan leads 8-4. You're listening to Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports and the Michigan Student Sports Network.
Obviously a big boost there for Michigan to score those 4 runs, take a nice 4-run lead here. Finally able to put up that crooked number. All game long, it seemed like the Wolverines were lacking those clutch hits. They were getting runners on. Coming into the inning, had 9 hits, only 4 runs to show for it. They tacked on 4 hits and got 4 runs to go with it. So undoubtedly, the mood has changed here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Went from a little bit more of a tense atmosphere to feeling like the Wolverines are in control here, which if you look at the scoreboard, it seems they are.
And it's been a long break for Tommy Henry. He will come back out to the mound for the Wolverines in the top of the 7th. That bottom of the 6th, a long half inning. We're going on 2.5 hours of game time now, just about to hit 8:30 here on the East Coast. Thank you to all of you who have tuned in both online on 88.3 in Ann Arbor and Southeast Michigan, and those of you across the world listening to WCBN Sports, the Michigan Student Sports Radio Network.
Yeah, you said it's starting to drag on a little bit here, that long half inning, but the Wolverines bullpen has their way. Got to see some quick half innings to finish this thing off.
1, 2, 3 in the 7th for the Spartans. Kelly, Shimoleski, and Durkin. Henry poised to get underway here. Most of the fans have cleared out now. It's becoming a cool evening. The sun is down. The lights are on. The first pitch. And Kelly shows bunt, pulls away, but it's a called strike inside. 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. That one a huge cut and a miss. Good off-speed pitch from Henry there, and the count quickly 0-2 on Kelly.
Couple off-speed pitches start the at-bat after not really featuring that curveball in the 6th. Definitely featuring it here to start the 7th.
The 0-2. Right back inside. 3 pitches and a strikeout looking. Boy, Tommy Henry sat for a while. Doesn't seem to bug him too much. First out of the inning as Kelly heads back to the dugout slumping. And the Wolverines continue to roll.
If you ever hear someone talk about pitching backwards, that is the textbook example of doing so. Normally when you think about pitching, get ahead early with the power stuff, try to get someone to chase on the off-speed. Henry did the exact opposite, got ahead with the off-speed, and then got him looking with an unexpected fastball.
Shimoleski at the plate now. Called strike, the 4th straight strike pitch from Tommy Henry.
Another breaking ball to start off the at-bat.
The 0-1. That one fouled back down the first base side again. 0-2. 5 pitches, 5 strikes for Tommy Henry. The lefty looking good here right now. The 0-2. That one finally misses outside. Count now 1-2. Tried to get Shimoleski to chase. He did not give.
I mean, it was bound to miss with that announcer's jinx you got going on.
The 1-2. That one looped over down the first base foul line. Almost a diving play made by Bivens. He's unable to haul it in. And the count remains 1-2. Call it a jinx. I just like seeing a lot of strikes in a row.
I don't blame you. It's something to see when a pitcher gets locked in. And coincidentally enough, earlier this year, I want to say it was against Notre Dame, Tommy Henry did a very similar thing. He just started getting locked in, started pitching backwards to batters, started pitching forwards to batters, if that's how you want to put it. Just absolutely dialed in, throwing strikes.
1-2, fouled back to the backstop. And I more think of it as, I want to say it's down at Texas A&M. If you give a 4-pitch walk, the crowd starts to chant ball 4, ball 5, every single pitch until he finally finds the zone. And guys will get shaken into 8, 9 balls in a row. 1-2. This is outside. Count now even at 2-2.
I like that pitch a lot there by Henry. He went with a couple of fastballs and perhaps had Shimoleski looking for that big sweeping curveball with the changeup that stays up and away.
The 2-2, a little bit of twinkle toes there from Shimoleski as he dances back out of the way of that one. Count now full on the Spartan right fielder. Tommy Henry trying to put him away for the second out of the inning. The payoff pitch. Swung on and fouled back.
He hasn't quite been able to put Shimoleski away with those fastballs. I'd imagine the backdoor curve is in order here on the 3-2 pitch. It'd be another unexpected pitch here. That seems to be Tommy Henry's go-to, is finding that unexpected pitch.
The 3-2 misses up and away for ball 4. And after getting ahead 0-2 in the count, Tommy Henry loses Shimoleski, and the Spartans have a runner on with 1 out here in the top of the 7th. They're down 4.
Similar to what we saw from Akeo Thomas last inning, a nice at-bat put there together by Shimoleski. Like you said, got down 0-2 in the count, fouled off some tough pitches that really wasn't able to do anything with. Stayed alive just long enough to have Tommy Henry miss on 4 of them.
I'll bring the second baseman Dan Durkin to the plate for the Spartans. The first pitch from Henry. That one comes up and in. It gets away from Wenson. Down towards second goes Shimoleski, sliding in. He stays over the bag and is safe on the play. A rare ball that gets away from Harrison Wenson allows the Spartan runner to advance into scoring position.
Yeah, man, a very manageable one there by 2. It wasn't one that bounced to the dirt, got away. It was a little high, but just ticked off the glove of Wenson, not something you normally see, especially when he's out here making these acrobatic stretches to stop balls from getting past.
The 1-0. Right over the heart of the plate, brought back well by Wenson, and it's 1-1.
That made up for that passed ball. There's what's officially scored with a really nice frame job on that one. Made sure his pitcher got the call with a little two-seam action.
Shimoleski stands on second, a 1-1 count. 1 out in the inning. The pitch. Check swing. He did not go, no appeal. The count 2-1. Looks like across the way, the Michigan Wolverines have defeated the Michigan State Spartans on the softball diamond by a final score of 3-1. Chalk up another win for Megan Betza in a 5-hit effort. Went the full 7. The 2-1 pitch. That one fouled back right towards our window here in the press box, maybe a bit to the left on the third base side. Count 2-2.
Ahead on the left here, Durkin didn't chase that breaking ball off the plate earlier in the at-bat, but looked like he wanted to swing there. I'd imagine he might expand a little bit with 2 strikes on him.
The 2-2 pitch to Durkin. Called strike 3 on the outside part of the plate. I don't think Durkin's going to like the spot. It seemed a bit off to me, but home plate umpire Michael Schultz rings him up for the second out of the inning. And the Spartans now down to their last out here in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, I got to agree with you there. It looked like that one was off the plate, but as we've seen time and time again, these catchers fooling home plate umpire Michael Schultz by setting up so far off the plate that just catching one that looks to be within maybe 5-6 inches of the plate, they're able to get that call by just holding it close enough to the corner.
The motion brings his mind back to the strike zone. It'll be to the benefit of Tommy Henry there. A quick meeting on the mound between Wenson, Henry, and the shortstop, Michael Berdar. It'll be quickly broken up by Michael Schultz.
Want to make sure you have the signs all on the same page here with the runner on second. Not sure if Berdar saw something that Shimoleski was doing out there or what, trying to relay that into his catcher and his pitcher, maybe switch up the signs.
And Ross Kelly is at the plate now for the Spartans, the designated hitter for the green and white. The first pitch. This is on the outside part of the plate, ball 1. And you see if Wenson were to set his glove out to the right on that one, towards that outside edge, and if he brought it back and caught that pitch, that's likely to be called a strike.
Yeah, instead he was set up over the middle of the plate, so had to reach for it and didn't get the call.
1-0 to Ross Kelly. That one nubbed over towards second base, played by Akeo Thomas, throw over to first for the final out of the top of the 7th. Nothing doing for the Spartans as we head to the bottom of the 7th with the Michigan Wolverines leading by a score of 8-4. You're listening to Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports and the Michigan Student Radio Sports Network. And this was a large crowd at Ray Fisher when this game started. You break out the free barbecue with hot dogs and hamburgers, and by the 6th inning, everybody was cleared out of here.
I'd imagine the sun going down, getting a little chilly has something to do with it. I know throughout the day today, I was wearing some shorts out there. Saw a lot of fans also wearing shorts.
It was also a close game, and now Michigan has blown open a 4-run lead. So you got to believe some people think the game's already over and they're headed home.
They're not necessarily mistaken. Most of the time, this Wolverine bullpen comes in and shuts things down like you wouldn't believe. Of course, the dynamic closer out there, Jackson Lamb, looming for the 9th inning should this one be a save situation. Also, essentially, you got Mac Lozier, the other senior, coming in the 8th. I believe Leo likes to call him Team Shutdown, that Lozier-Lamb combo.
Meanwhile, coming in relief for the Spartans, another new pitcher. It'll be number 7, Ethan Landon, in the green and white. Landon, a 5.15 ERA in 36 2/3 innings. Hitters hitting .282 against Landon. Not sure on the stat line why you would bring that in, but again, he's 2-1 in the win-loss column, so must have gotten some decent run support on the back end. Struggling right now with the Wolverines up 4, just trying to keep it in place for the Michigan State Bats to get back at it, but Tommy Henry has been hot the last 2 innings.
Yeah, I mean, kind of odd here to bring him up. Normally be a starting pitcher. I don't know, potentially Sunday starter for them in their upcoming series. They'll take on, if I'm not mistaken, this weekend. They go to Maryland, who we saw Michigan has some troubles with over in College Park.
Dropped 2 of 3, the Wolverines did to the Terrapins. Either way, it will be 5-6-7 for the Wolverines here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Lewis, Bivens, and Poirier. Michigan has 13 hits on the afternoon. The Spartans have 4. No errors for either side, although there have been some choppy plays here and there. The scorekeeper has been favorable so far today.
Very favorable if you're a hitter, at least.
Now Miles Lewis steps to the plate. He has 2 doubles on the day as well. Struck out in his last at-bat in the 5th, trying to get back to the form he had early on in this game.
Yeah, he was really stroking the ball well. Those couple doubles that he really just crushed off that right field wall.
One was very nearly a triple, called out at 3rd. The first pitch swung right back up the middle. A diving play made by the shortstop, Ando. Quick throw over to first, not in time. Unable to glove it is McGuire on the bag. I think Miles Lewis would have beat the throw out either way. It'll be an infield single for Miles Lewis as he tacks on his 3rd hit of the game.
Another hard hit ball there from Lewis, and I agree. I think he would have beaten that one out. The time it took for Royce Ando to dive, get up, and make the throw over there just seemed like it was going to be a little bit too long.
Not for a lack of effort from Ando there. It was almost a very nice play. Just a bit too difficult to get up off his stomach and make the throw to first. And that'll bring Jake Bivens to the plate. First pitch to Bivens. He bunts down the first baseline. Foul as it skids towards the backstop.
You saw Bivens ready bunt for a hit once today up over towards that third base side, looking to drag that one over to the first base side with McGuire holding the runner on the second baseman, Durkin, playing and double play depth near the bag. Maybe looking to punch that one into the Bermuda Triangle out there between the second baseman, first baseman, and the pitcher.
The 0-1 right over the heart of the plate, called strike. Bivens must have been looking for something inside. He didn't seem as though he wanted to go. The count's 0-2.
And it could just be anecdotal or maybe stemming back to what his problems have been so far this season, but it seems like he takes a lot of those pitches, especially those 0-1 pitches, over the heart of the plate.
The 0-2, that one misses low, bounces up into the chest protector of Byers, who stays in front of it. Lewis offered a couple steps off of first base, but trots back. Count now 1-2. Awaiting the 1-2 from Landon. A quick throw over to first, not in time. Diving back is Lewis.
Spartans making a really conscious effort to keep pretty much every single Wolverine runner at bay when they get onto the base paths. It's something a lot of teams have forgotten about and led to a lot of stolen bases for the Wolverines.
1-2 is fouled back into the backstop netting. And so that count shall stay. Miles Lewis is on first base. No outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Wolverines lead by 4.
They're very conscious to the Spartans. The Wolverines lead the Big Ten in stolen bases with there's 82 coming into this game. If I'm not mistaken, there's been 3 so far today.
I believe you are correct. Should be 85 on the season now for the Maize and Blue.
And while this doesn't go down as an official Big Ten game, still the Spartans know a lot about their upcoming Big Ten opponent.
Yep, another 1-2 pitch fouled back by Bivens. Landon struggling to put him down here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
That bit of fight's been lacking some from Bivens, goes down. It seems like relatively easily when he gets down in the count, tends to chase balls in the dirt. We saw him do it once already earlier on in the game.
The 1-2. That one came inside, but just a bit low. 2-2.
Right there, didn't chase one down. More susceptible to the off-speed pitch that breaks down out of the zone rather than the fastball that just misses low.
Landon trying to break out anything out of his arsenal that he can to set down Jake Bivens. A pickoff throw over to first, jumping back safely is Lewis. They've kept Lewis honest over there at first. On the season, Miles Lewis 10 for 14 on stolen bases.
We saw him take off once in the at-bat. Definitely looks like he wants to go again.
The 2-2, there he goes, headed towards second. That pitch missed inside. Full count with Lewis advancing on the throw, as that one got up into the chest pad of Byers again and had to stay in front of it, unable to make a throw.
So there's your 4th stolen base. The inning, just we're talking about how prolific the Wolverines are on the base paths at swiping those extra ones.
A payoff pitch from Landon is looming. The delivery, that one comes inside, and Bivens will take a free base. Runners now on first and second to open up the bottom of the 7th inning for the Michigan Wolverines. They already lead 8-4, trying to expand upon that. And now Nick Poirier will step to the plate for the Wolverines, who had a single in his last at-bat.
Poirier, part of starting that rally back in the 6th inning along with Bivens over there at first base. Did a nice job of just getting on and moving over when appropriate. Moved over on that balk, of course.
The first pitch from Landon to Poirier comes inside and misses for ball 1. Ethan Landon has missed quite a few pitches on that inside edge. He's continuing to go right at that same spot. And Michael Schultz has been very stingy on all ends of this game on that inside call. Somewhere where he has been very consistent is that inside edge. The 1-0. That one breaks left to right and comes back over the heart of the plate. Poirier thought about offering a swing, did not go. Called strike. The count now 1-1.
Yeah, Poirier out in front of that ball. Nice pitch by Landon. If Poirier had decided to swing, he probably, best case scenario would be to hook it into that right field corner, but a tough thing to do when you're out on your front foot.
The 1-1 to Poirier. Big cut. Not sure if he got a piece of it. It was in the dirt. Either way, a strike. Count now 1-2.
This looks like he got a little over-anxious there. Landon gave him another one of those breaking balls. Instead of breaking from outside the zone to inside the zone, it did the exact opposite. Started out looking like something good to hit and went down towards the feet of Nick Poirier.
Poirier waiting on the 1-2. Swung on, grounded over towards first, just foul. McGuire was about to give chase to it. A few feet to the right of the first base bag. Count stays 1-2. Back to the plate is Poirier. Landon still struggling to put him away. 324 the average has crawled up to for Poirier. 1-2 just misses. Must have been a bit high. Count now 2-2. Looked like a pretty good pitch to me. Tempting for Poirier, but takes a close one.
It was a nice frame job there by Byers. It did look up, and for all we've given Michael Schultz so far today, he has been pretty consistent not calling that high strike.
The 2-2 fouled back behind home plate to the netting. And Poirier starting his own fight now. These Michigan hitters in these last couple of innings have started to take some extended at-bats against the Spartan pitchers.
You get into that bullpen and you just wear them down. You saw one of the teams most famous for that in the major leagues.
2-2 fouled back on the third base side.
is the Chicago Cubs. At the beginning of last season, at least, it seemed like they were getting into the bullpens in about the fourth inning and just rode down pitchers over and over and over again.
Landon is the 6th pitcher of the game for the Spartans to come in here and take the mound. Michigan has worked their way around well. 14 hits and 8 runs. The 2-2 to Poirier. That one is grounded over towards third. The grab will be made. The throw over to first is in time. They got him by a step. And that's a good charge in there by Marty Bikina. And a strong throw over to McGuire will be the first out of the inning. However, Bivens and Lewis advance to second and third, respectively, on the play.
Yeah, unlike Bikina did earlier, did a nice job there of making sure to come in quickly, make the play as quickly as he could. Of course, earlier on, misplayed that bunt, made sure not to make the same mistake there. Really strong throw over. Quick shot, just glove to hand, which is very important to be able to make that quick transition without losing the ball. Really nice display there. How to play that ball as you're cutting across the diamond by Bikina.
And that'll bring Jonathan Engelman to the plate, one of the few Wolverines who has yet to get in on the fun so far today. He had an RBI ground out to Ando in his last at-bat. First pitch misses outside. And just to give you an idea of how deep Michigan has gone into this Spartans bullpen, it was Machma, then Mach B, then Lowry, then Borkovich, then Tyransky, and now Landon.
It looks like there's still action in that Michigan State bullpen. I don't think Landon is going to be the last pitcher we see today from the Spartans.
The 1-0 pitch to Engelman. That one misses outside. Count now 2-0 on the Wolverines' right fielder.
If Landon's missing like that, he certainly will not be the last Spartan bullpen member we'll be seeing today.
We'll see how short his leash is. He's been in for a little bit now compared to some of his counterparts, yet he's still only produced 1 out. Good for a third of an inning of work. The 2-0. That one catches the lower part of the zone as it looped inside out over the plate. Count now 2-1, and a good comeback pitch on 2-0 from Ethan Landon.
You see it time and time again, opting to go with those off-speed pitches on these 2-0, 3-1 counts because hitters are looking fastball just about every single time they go up there. So if you can catch them out in front, you get them to roll over, get ahead with a strike, get back in the count.
2-1, shot back up the middle. That's going to score 2. Lewis comes around to score. Bivens comes around standing up. And I said Jonathan Engelman was one of the few Wolverines who hadn't gotten in on the fun so far today. That is his first hit, his third RBI, second and third, I should say, as he wheels into first with a 2 RBI single. Wolverines now lead by a score of 10-4.
I think he may have heard you and taken some offense to that. You weren't necessarily wrong, but shot that one back up the middle with authority. Did a nice job there. Pitch maybe a little low and in, but did a nice job getting the barrel on it.
Now the only Wolverine without a hit, Drew Lugbauer. That'll bring Harrison Wenson to the plate. First pitch from Landon to Wenson in there for a called strike. And Michigan State cannot catch a break today against the Wolverines.
To be fair, many teams this year haven't been able to catch a break, so to say, against the Wolverines.
That is true. Harrison Wenson, the 0-1. That one popped up. Going to loop over into foul territory. Ranging over is Bikina, and he makes the grab for the second out of the inning. A foul out from Harrison Wenson. Engelman stays planted on first, and that'll bring Akeo Thomas to the plate.
Yeah, Engelman was running with that pitch, but Wenson got one that he thought was good enough to do some damage with. Got under it by a fair amount. But even when Harrison Wenson gets under a ball, it's kind of a marvel to watch just how high it goes with that big uppercut swing he has.
Ethan Landon is on the rubber. Quick throw over to first. And do you think Akeo Thomas goes 12 pitches again in this at-bat? His last at-bat, the at-bat of the game for the Wolverines, 12 pitches against Borkovich, resulting in an RBI single that got over the glove of Bikina at third base. And we may just see the end of Landon here, not sure. Don't think the skipper came out, so we should be good. Just a quick mound meeting.
I would see if I know baseball at all, which started to question that a little bit today, given the
just about every call we've made, we've gone oppo.
Exactly. Akeo Thomas with the 12 pitch at bat last time. He'll be first pitch swinging here.
All right. That means it's going to be another 12 pitch at bat for Akeo Thomas. So tune in.
Exactly.
Again, thank you to those of you who are tuning in, both in Southeast Michigan on 88.3 and on YouTube, WCBN Sports, and on WCBNsports.org. And all of you listening, wherever you may be across these great United States on this beautiful Tuesday night here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. We appreciate you tuning in. As always, feel free to drop us a comment on Twitter at WCBN Sports. Let us know what you think of the broadcast. Austin and I would greatly appreciate it. This game is dragging on, and we could use somebody to tweet at us now.
Anything.
Give us something. First pitch to Akeo Thomas. Gone on the pitch is Engelman. He slides into second base, gets his hand safely on the bag, and he is in there. That is just the 5th stolen base of the season for Engelman. He is now 5 for 6.
And Akeo Thomas taking first pitch, of course.
Like I said, the start of a new 12-pitch at-bat.
Maybe he'll tap himself and go 13 this time.
The 1-0 from Ethan Landon. That one a shot into left field. That one will get down. Engelman's rounding third. He's coming into home. It's going to be cut off. The throw home not in time as Engelman slides in safely. It's another RBI single for Akeo Thomas. And he is now 4 of 5 on the game with 2 RBIs, and he stands on first. A happy camper, and the Wolverines now up 11-4.
That ties his career high and his season high. He set that a couple weeks back against Penn State with 4 hits in the ballgame.
And that'll bring up Mr. 3 triples on the game himself, Johnny Slater. 3 triples, 3 RBIs. And now we're going to see a pitching change as the skipper Boss comes out here. And he's going to take the ball out of Ethan Landon's hand. And we're going to see the 7th pitcher of the game for the Michigan State Spartans now.
Now, we haven't commented at all today. The skipper for Michigan State, his last name is Boss. It's the most
Boss Jr.
The most appropriately named skipper I can think of.
Well, his daddy was the Boss. He is Jake Boss Jr.
That's fair.
His 9th year as the head skipper at MSU, and he's out there yet again to pull another pitcher. That's the end of the day for Ethan Landon. And now coming out to pitch for the Michigan State Spartans. Looks like that's going to be Keegan Barr, junior lefty. See if we can get the stat line on Barr here. We're digging deep into these pitching stat lines as we go deeper into this game. Keegan Barr, a 3.72 ERA on the season. He's only pitched 9 2/3 innings. Opponents are hitting 364 against him. So if this is any indication, the Spartans are doing anything they can and throwing out there anyone that they can to try and beat this Michigan team here in the bottom of the 7th. They are down 11-4.
Among Michigan State relievers with any sort of legitimate experience so far this year, we're only 2 short. So if we keep this up, we might see the full extent of the Michigan State bullpen at this rate.
Wouldn't be surprised. Maybe they've got a second baseman that likes to throw a little bit as well in his free time.
Very possible. It is college baseball. You see players listed as pitcher/outfielder, pitcher/catcher, pitcher/infielder. Actually trying it out in the major leagues this year.
We are going on
in San Diego.
Going on 3 hours of game time now, as it's just about 9 o'clock here on the Eastern time zone. And I got to tell you, out of 3 hours, I think about 40 minutes of that has been pitching changes.
Yeah. I mean, when you get to referencing the San Diego Padres in a college baseball broadcast, you've got to be pretty far along.
You know, Michigan at one point had open tryouts for the football team. I know University of Florida did open tryouts for a place kicker. Maybe it's time to open up the ranks in East Lansing.
Bullpen pitchers.
You know, I came out of the bullpen once as a regular right fielder out in Little League, you know. And complete lobster. I think I walked about 7 before they finally pulled me. First pitch to Johnny Slater, called strike on the lower part of the zone.
I see, back in Little League, I could throw strikes, but my main purpose was after the fast guys throw come in, you throw slow enough, you'll throw them all off.
Throw them completely off. Just loop it in there like an ephus. The 0-1 pitch to Slater. That one a hot shot down the third base line, and that'll spell trouble as it's going to get all the way into the left corner. This should be an RBI double. Struggling to get it out of the corner is Kelly. He gets it in. Booking it towards home is Akeo Thomas. And you know what? Johnny Slater had 3 doubles on the game, but that wasn't enough. It's now 4 doubles for Johnny Slater and make it 4 RBIs.
I feel pretty confident saying that's a career high for Johnny Slater.
Just going to go out on a limb there, are you?
I'll look that up here, but I'm pretty confident. Yeah, his previous career high, 2 doubles back in 2014 at Illinois.
As a famed broadcaster would say, Mama, there goes that man again. Johnny Slater just cannot be stopped at the moment. And that will bring Drew Lugbauer to the plate. As I said, the only Wolverine without a hit on the game.
Not quite yet to Lugbauer. We still got.
Oh, they've got Lugbauer out on the screen over and right. It is Berdar.
They threw you off. Already looking ahead.
First pitch to Berdar is grounded over to short. Throw over to first is in time, and that will end the inning. Still have Lugbauer's picture out on the scoreboard, but Berdar is the last out of the bottom of the 7th. Michigan putting up 4 runs in back-to-back innings, as they now lead this one 12-4. We head to the top of the 8th. You're listening to Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports and the Michigan Student Sports Radio Network.
I was talking a little earlier about the team shutdown lineup of Mac Lozier and Jackson Lamb. I don't think we're going to see them today, given the 8-run lead Michigan currently has.
If you give me old number 38 out there, that's who used to strike me out in Little League all the time, Austin Batka. Kid scared the crap out of me back when I was 11 years old, and he was throwing 70, 75. Straight hurler. I've called him once so far this year. He came into close, struck out all 3 to end a game against Penn State.
There's something about you and him at baseball games that just clicks for him, I guess. I don't know what it is.
No, that's just Batka clicking. But coming in, as you said, it will be Lozier for the Michigan Wolverines. So they are going with the typical 8-9 setup and close, or so it would seem at this point.
And it's possible it's a Tuesday night game when Michigan doesn't play again until Friday. They can afford to use their closures.
Got a few days of rest there.
By the way, all 3 of those games this weekend will be covered for you here by WCBN Sports. I know I'm pretty sure I'll be here for all 3 games.
You'll be here for all 3. Leo Blavin will be on the Friday and Saturday calls. I'll be joining you on Sunday to close out the series against the Indiana Hoosiers here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Mac Lozier still has a 0 ERA. He's pitched 8 1/3. Opponents are only hitting .08 against him.
Is that good?
He forgot to take his pitches out of the laundry because they are filthy. Lozier is warming up in the top of the 8th for the Spartans.
It will be waiting all game for this 1-2 combo to make that.
It'll be Byers, Bakina, and Ando. You know what? When we get into these games being so long, I got to get something in here to keep people that are listening entertained. I'm keeping myself entertained at this. I think I'm a funny guy.
Definitely lights the mood up here for everyone listening, especially.
Ray Fisher Stadium is mostly emptied out. I see somebody working on homework on a laptop on the third base side.
I like it, multitasking.
And Matt Byers at the plate now, the catcher for the Spartans. First pitch from Lozier. Huge cut and a miss is that one. Beautiful breaker, tailed inside out away, and evaded the bat of Byers, 0-1.
They've still got Tommy Henry up on the scoreboard here on our stat broadcast, so Lozier perhaps padding Tommy Henry's stats.
And the pitch chopped over to third, the play made by Lugbauer, and the toss over to first is in time for the first out of the inning. 2 pitches, 1 out. Matt Byers goes down, and Mac Lozier keeps his 0 ERA. You call it a broadcaster's curse, but I don't think it's going to change anytime soon here.
I mean, when you're this far into the season, you've got 3 or 4 guys out of the pen that get significant time and still have those 0 ERAs. It's not really much you can do from a broadcaster's curse perspective. It's just what it is.
And the first pitch to Marty Bikina comes inside and actually nicks him, I believe, on the knee. Couldn't quite tell, but he winced for a moment, circled around, and then headed down to first base. So it'll be a hit batter to put a runner on first for the Spartans here in the top of the 8th inning. And that'll bring Royce Ando back to the plate now, the shortstop for the Spartans. He has 2 walks on the day, struck out in his last at-bat. Time is called down the first base side.
So Ando, so far 2 of the 3 true outcomes on the day.
See if he can get the third. Here is the first pitch. Misses. Perhaps high, perhaps outside, 1-0.
How's that for a hook to keep people listening there?
There you go. When we're getting down to the true outcomes, we're really getting edgy. The 1-0.
We're not on.
Swung on and fouled down the first base side.
We're not on cycle watch. We're on 3 true outcome watch. And I don't know if we have anybody yet, but you always got the 3 different types of outs: the ground out, fly out, strikeout watch.
Yep.
Try to complete the trifecta there. I think we'll have a chance at that with Robbie Jones coming up.
1-1 the count on Ando. Misses low, bounces up into the glove of Wenson. 2-1 the count on the Toronto native.
Pride of Toronto.
Mac Lozier, the 2-1. Misses inside, 3-1. He hit Marty Bikina to put him on first. Trying to limit the damage here now in a 3-1 count.
Ando showed the patience so far today.
The 3-1 called strike. That one caught the outside part of the plate, 3-2.
And I don't know, maybe it is just getting late. It's been a long ball game, but that one looked like it got halfway to the plate and then just slowed down and cruised in there. Great breaking ball.
Payoff pitch, swing and a miss. And I'll tell you what, Mac Lozier comes back from a 3-1 count and makes it look easy as he gets Ando to fan and miss for the second out of the inning.
So 2 walks and 2 strikeouts from they got to stay balanced in the strikeout to walk ratio.
No pinch hitters yet for the Spartans in a relatively futile position, down 12-4 here in the top of the 8th. They're going to go right back to Zach McGuire, the first baseman. First pitch to McGuire, right over the heart of the plate, called strike 1. Never lifted the bat off his shoulder there.
That was a good point. You're making no pinch hitters, not quite empty in the bench yet. We saw in the Oklahoma game back last week, Friday.
The 0-1 misses low and outside. Count even, 1-1.
Yeah, both teams in that game started emptying the bench, get the young guys some playing time. The
Well,
thing here is
the pinch hitters very well might need to pitch here for the Spartans if it continues to go that way for the Wolverines in the bottom of the 8th. The 1-1 misses low, 2-1.
Lozier just toying with us all right now. Wonder if maybe he did the little spring training thing you see in major leagues. You walk a guy to put someone on and work out of the stretch a little bit, or work with the runner on first.
2-1 from Lozier, brings it back even. Good pitch, comes inside out, catches the outside black, 2-2. Two-two pitch to McGuire. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Mac Lozier. Not sure if it hit the dirt. Lozier is going to run over to first base either way. McGuire never made an attempt to get down to first base, but Wenson instructed him to do so. And as he taps his foot on the bag, that will for sure end the top of the 8th inning. No damage done for the Spartans. They reach 1 with a hit batter, but do not score. Michigan leads this game 12-4 as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. You're listening to Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports and the Michigan Student Sports Radio Network.
Another big watch for you starting off the inning with Drew Lugbauer. You mentioned looking for his first hit on the day, the only Wolverine not to do so in the lineup, or could potentially get himself the sombrero. He's already got the hat trick on the day with 3 strikeouts.
The stat lines for some of these Wolverine hitters today is just Unbelievable. 4 for 5 for Akeo Thomas, 4 for 4 for Johnny Slater, 3 for 4 for Miles Lewis, 2 for 3 for Jake Bivens. All in all, it's been 17 hits for the Wolverines. And you know what? I think we're seeing another pitcher here again for Michigan State. Coming in the bottom of the 8th is Riley McCauley. And we'll get you the stat line on McCauley here in just a second. 3.48 ERA, 10 1/3 innings of work. Opponents hitting .286 against McCauley. And we'll see if he fares any better than his counterparts before him. Quick recap on the day for the pitchers that Michigan State has trotted out against the Wolverines. Only 3 of them have actually gone a full inning. It was Machma to open up, then Mach B, then Lowry, then Borkovich, Tyransky, Landon, Barr, and now McCauley.
And it really all skidded to a stop in that 6th inning. The Wolverines put up 4 and then put up another 4 in the 7th. But for a while of this game, the story of this game was Michigan spoiling some good chances and letting the Spartans stay in it. Over the past 3 innings, though, it's taken a very different turn.
Bottom of the 6th inning, they decided to take some dynamite and blow the barn doors off this one. 4 runs in the bottom of the 6th, 4 runs in the bottom of the 7th, trying to put up another crooked number here in the bottom of the 8th. There is still something to be said for this game, even though it isn't on the gridiron. The Michigan State rivalry strong in all aspects. Michigan looking to send the Spartans home packing with as bad a loss as they can. And leading off the inning, finally we get a pinch hitter, Christian Bullock for the Michigan Wolverines.
So scratch that. Lugbauer doesn't get a chance to get off the schneid today.
First pitch to Bullock misses outside. Bullock, the 6-foot, 170-pound freshman out of Chicago, Illinois. Getting the call up here. The 1-0. That one catches the inside part of the plate. Count evens at 1-1. This is just the 6th at-bat of the season for Bullock. He scored 1 run. He's stolen 2 bases, but his average sits at 0, looking for his first career hit. The 1-1. Grounded over towards short. Play will be made by Ando, and the throw over to first is in time, and Bullock will maintain his search for that first hit as he will head back to the dugout, the first out of the inning. And we'll see if we see another pinch hitter here for the Wolverines. And it seems like we will. Coming to the plate now will be Brock Keener, number 35 in the maize and blue, a catcher by trade out of Richmond, Texas. He's junior.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a double switch here and see Keener finish off the game behind the plate in the 9th.
Keener's had 6 at-bats so far on the season. This will be his 7th. His average is at .333. He has looked very good in his few appearances. The first pitch to Keener misses off the plate outside for ball 1.
The seldom used backup catcher for the Wolverines. Harrison Wenson takes a big brunt of the load, and Drew Lugbauer actually slides over from third and catches most of the time when Wenson gets the day off.
The 1-0. That one swung on a shot towards left field. It's tailing foul, and it'll land in the Michigan bullpen. And I think, obviously, Harrison Wenson gets the call up most days for his defensive abilities behind the plate, but Brock Keener, if he is ever to go behind the plate, really brings much more of an offensive presence with his bat for this Wolverines team. Again, just 6 at-bats on the season. Already has 2 RBIs, hitting .333. Trying to add on here.
And a switch hitter on top of it, which is always valuable in your lineup.
The 1-1. That one comes up and in, and it is going to plug Keener as he will head towards first base. One fan yelling, "Charge the mound." I don't think that's on order for the Wolverines in the bottom of the 8th, up by 8. However, it will bring another pinch hitter to the plate for the Wolverines. Now they're going to empty the reserves on the bench. Jimmy Kerr will step to the plate. The sophomore out of Scottsdale, Arizona. As he awaits the first pitch from Riley McCauley. First pitch misses up and away for ball one. And by most measures, Macaulay has had a better start to this inning than most Michigan State pitchers have had so far.
Yeah, I mean, since the 6th, just about every Michigan State pitcher, really since the 5th when the Wolverines tacked on that 1 run, every Michigan State pitcher that's come in has had some sort of difficulty aside from that hit by pitch. Looks pretty good out there.
The 1-0 swung on and missed. Count now even at 1 apiece.
Jimmy Kerr, the backup middle infielder for the Wolverines, getting some time. He's gotten some time starting so far this year.
Trying to prove his offensive worth, the 1-1. Just catches the outside part of the plate again. Another one of those pitches where it looked like the catcher had set up on the outside and brought it back in. That also just made me realize that the Spartans made a defensive change at catcher at the start of this inning. It's now Will Salter in behind the plate, relieving Matt Byers of his duty. He took the first 7 innings as the back end of the battery. The 1-2. That one catches the outside part of the plate again, and Jimmy Kerr is down on strikes. Didn't like the call. 2 straight pitches that were 50-50 balls on the outside part of the plate. Both go against him, and the second out of the inning is completed.
Yeah, he may not have liked the call, but I know a few people up in the press box that I think may have been all right with that call, missing a little off the edge.
And that'll bring Joe Pace to the plate. Called Joe Pace's first career hit, a home run in that Penn State series. Back at it here again, the first pitch. This is a bit low for ball 1.
Always
Pace.
fun to see a pitcher or someone get their first career hit, especially when it comes on a home run like that.
On a big old bomb out to left center field, as I do recall. 3-run home run. The 1-0. That one up high, but Pace cut at it anyways. Count now 1-1.
Try to hit a 3-run home run there despite only 1 runner being on base.
Pace eager at the plate here.
Would you say the pace is picking up?
I would hope so. The 1-1 pitch, that one misses outside. It's going to get away from Salter as Keener trots down to second base easily. Runner now in scoring position with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th for the Wolverines. Joe Pace sitting in a 2-1 count at the plate. Pace, the redshirt freshman out of Valley Village, California, stands in there at 5'9", 180 pounds. Not too far off from yours truly, but a lot more athletic ability.
Similar to a Kayla Thomas in that regard, at least size-wise.
The 2-1 pitch. That one comes inside. Nice breaking ball there, 2-2.
If his limited sample size is to be believed, maybe a little more pop in his bat than Thomas, but same stature.
And now Macaulay readies with the 2-2, kicks and delivers. That one misses off the plate outside. 3-2 now the count on Joe Pace. Again, it is just Keener standing on second. The Wolverines lead by 8. Here in the bottom of the 8th inning, the Spartans just trying to get out of this one with their first clean frame since the 4th. The 3-2 swung on and fouled back.
It'd be the quickest inning since the 4th, also batter-wise. So far, Michigan State, the only time they faced a minimal number of batters was back in the 2nd. They faced 3. Back in the 4th, faced 4 and got helped out with that line drive double play ball.
Some folks might want to get out of here, but Joe Pace is determined to make this at-bat count. They don't come all that often for him, just his 7th of the year. The 3-2 misses outside, and he will find himself on first base with a walk. And now runners on first and second with 2 out in the inning. And the first at-bat in a while without a pinch hitter. It will be the regular 8 hitter, Jonathan Engelman, who got his first hit of the day in his last at-bat in the 7th. It was a 2 RBI single.
And I'm thinking this is a combination of both maybe running out of players to throw in there, as well as just keep Engelman in the game, keep him hot. He's been struggling coming into this one. Finally started to get off the schneid, hit the ball hard a couple times. Keep that going so he can have his bat at full strength going into the weekend series.
First pitch from McCauley to Engelman, swung on and missed. 0-1.
That was 100% I'm going to hit this ball as hard as I possibly can type of swing. Spun around in that batter's box, pulled the head out. He makes contact with it, though. It definitely will hit it hard.
The 0-1 pitch from McCauley. He looks down, kicks and delivers. Misses outside. Count now 1-1. McCauley definitely taking his time on the mound. Doesn't work all that quickly. Has also waved off multiple calls from Salter. And he now settles back in on the rubber. And he delivers the 1-1. That one is swung on and fouled back. The count now 1-2.
He talked about getting Engelman's bat going at full strength before this weekend series. It'll be the first time Michigan's playing some Big Ten games in a couple weekends. They had that game against Eastern Michigan, the 3 against Oklahoma, and today's does not count officially as a Big Ten contest. Those will come at the very end of the year when there's a little away, home, away series against Michigan State to round out the schedule.
The 1-2 pitch to Engelman. Swung on, shot down the first base line, but that'll go foul.
We mentioned we'll have all 3 of those games for you on WCBN. It's a 6 p.m. start time on Friday, a 2 p.m. start time on Saturday, and a 1 p.m. start time on Sunday. All Eastern time, of course.
Another Big Ten weekend for the Wolverines after coming off a huge non-conference weekend against the Oklahoma Sooners in which they swept 3. The production has not slowed down today, up 12-4. The 1-2 pitch to Engelman. Swung on and missed, and that will end the bottom of the 8th inning. The first clean half inning for the Spartans since the 4th. We head to the top of the 9th. Final call for Michigan State. The Wolverines lead this one 12-4. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball on the Michigan Student Radio Network. And it seems as though we will have some pinch hitters for the Spartans to lead off here. Looks like Justin Antosic is warming up outside the dugout. I think I've got that one right. Antosic. Antocic?
I don't know. We'll find out when we get the official announcement here.
Apologies to his family for us butchering his name.
It's the nature of the game. What's baseball without a few butchered names here and there? Part of baseball is seeing all these odd names you get in college baseball and the minor leagues and whatnot. You get these just way out there guys that make you kind of want to root for them when you find one especially odd.
Looks like Keith Lehman is going to come in to close this one out for the Wolverines. The senior righty. And we'll get Lehman's line here for you on the year. Another one of those guys with a 0 ERA. He's thrown 4 1/3. Opponents are hitting 0.71 against Lehman.
Yeah, it's something when you don't have your normal shutdown guys out there. You're just throwing out the back end of the bullpen maybe, and you come out and you're throwing out a guy with a 0.00 ERA. It's really nice convenience for head coach Eric Bakich. A credit to just all the talent he's brought in during his time in Ann Arbor. I know Leo and I talked about it in one of our broadcasts a couple of weeks ago, I want to say it was, but the Wolverines have a staff that could theoretically go 5 deep in the starting rotation. And then you bring in the bullpen, you can just throw out arms after arms after arms like it's nothing, and they're all able to come in and shut down a team. And when you combine that with the offense that we've seen today, what we've seen in the past from the Wolverines, they're really poised to make some noise on a national scale.
And I think last weekend was the first really big stomp of the foot for this team, and they're going to continue to roll on here tonight, barring some kind of absolute catastrophic, unspeakable meltdown. They seem to be en route to a weeknight win and head into a weekend series against the Indiana Hoosiers. Robbie Jones, the regular 9-hitter at the plate to start off the top of the 9th here for the Spartans. First pitch misses outside for ball 1.
There you go. There's your trifecta watch, a fly out and a couple ground outs for him today.
The 1-0 swung on and missed, 1-1. Lehman has a whip of 1, an ERA of 0. Perfection. The 1-1. That one catches the outside part of the plate. A questionable call again on that outside edge, but benefit of the doubt given to Lehman.
Zone seemed to expand it just a little bit here in these last couple innings.
The 1-2. Another one on that outside edge, called strike 3. 4 pitches, and Jones goes down for the first out of the 9th. Now we're going to see a pinch hitter for the Spartans. It's going to be the 5'9" outfielder Taylor Grace, a senior out of Rancho Cucamonga, California. One of the more fun town names that you get to call. And surprisingly, not all that uncommon amongst baseball players. A lot of folks out of Rancho Cucamonga.
Or if they got a nice little high school out there. I know you've seen IMG Academy down in Florida that tends to
It's not a high school.
churn out those athletes.
That's not a high school. It's a sports academy.
Yeah, very true.
And it seems as though there's a little confusion on the scoreboard as Grace steps in now.
Just a Spartan logo up there.
First pitch to Grace. Misses outside for ball 1. Tried to bring the heat, unable to locate. As Lehman continues to work here, Spartans down to their last 2 outs.
Yeah, it sure seems like the production staff not really prepared to go this deep
The
in
1-0.
the lineup.
Chopper over to short, handled by Berdar. Strong throw over to first, and the conversion is made. Brock Keener has now taken over first base for the Wolverines. Some of those folks you saw pinch hitting in the last half inning. Keener's now at first. Kerr is over at third, and it looks like Bullock is now out over in left field. And now stepping to the plate, Justin Antokic, the freshman infielder out of Columbus, Ohio, is the last batter seemingly of the game for the Spartans. They are down to their last out here, down 12-4 in the 9th. First pitch inside for a called strike 1.
We talked a little bit about what's in store for Michigan this weekend. We mentioned Michigan State going to Maryland. So after beating down the Spartans, Michigan will be rooting for the Spartans this weekend and try to get back in that Big Ten race.
The 0-1 somehow catches the outside part of the plate. Again, that expanded strike zone, 0-2. And now the Spartans down to their final strike. The 0-2 pitch from Lehman is a called strike 3 on the outside edge, and that'll do it, folks. 3.5 hours of game time later, the Michigan Wolverines take this midweek Big Ten matchup against the in-state rival Michigan State Spartans by a final score of 12-4. The Wolverines out-hit the Spartans 17-4. And that's going to do it for us up here in the booth at Ray Fisher. Austin, any final thoughts on today's game?
That was a long one, but a good one if you're a Michigan baseball fan. It was great to see a lot of people come out and catch some action early on before the Wolverines broke it open later on. Again, another encouraging game for the Wolverines. We saw them obviously coming off that big weekend against Oklahoma after coming off a couple weekends before. Had that letdown against Eastern Michigan last weekend. Determined not to let that happen again, and really a dominant display here. Something the Wolverines can keep in their back pocket as they look to finish off Big Ten play.
Thank you again to those of you who tuned in with us on 88.3 WCBN FM in Ann Arbor. Those of you who tuned in online and across the globe, thank to you as well. And as Austin said, we will be back on Friday at 6 p.m. with the first of a 3-game set when the Michigan Wolverines will take on another Big Ten opponent in the Indiana Hoosiers. Again, your final score in this one, Michigan 12, the Michigan State Spartans 4. For Austin Falco, I've been Jeremy Parks. As always, we leave you with a good night and a Go Blue.